Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Foncast. This is part two of the Friends Occasionally Navigating Dungeons episode for Tales from the Loop. Um, so, Considering we are recording this the same day as we did the last one, we're not going to go through the what you've been doing because it's going to be just a carbon copy of what we said before. So, when we left off, the kids had discovered some startlingly advanced toys that Sawyer's brother and well, two brothers had gotten as birthday presents and didn't like because they were attached to a rather chintzy knockoff Transformers show called Our Friends the Machines. The toys, however, are really top of the line. They can talk, they can, move under their own power, they can fly with some of them. So something weird is going on here. The writing inside of the battery case is in a foreign language. Um, that's not Chinese, not Japanese, some sort of Nordic, perhaps. And the machines, the toys, seem very adamant about reconvening with their leader, who is not one of the ones that was purchased. But when we left off, the kids had just arrived at the mall to see about pooling their resources and buying an Infinitron figure, Infinitron being the leader of the pack. So, entering the scene with two groups, with David, played by Matt, and Frankie, played by Jessica, going to the Red Balloon toy, or I mean, excuse me, the Micro Age computer shop, and then Ronald, and played by Cody, and Sawyer, played by Brett, going to the Red Balloon toy shop to see about maybe finding a copy of this particular figure. So, who wants the first scene? Which group?
Yeah.
I can flip a coin if need be.
Let's just do us.
Okay, cool.
Sure.
All right. So, you two make your way through. It's still a weekday, but it is the end of school, so the mall is a bit more crowded than you might expect from a normal Wednesday or whatever day of the week it is that school ends. Um, so a bit of a crowd you have to wend your way through, but you do make your way to the Micro Age computer shop. Have you, seeing as you're the tech head of the group, Matt or Daniel, is it? Hang on a second.
David.
David. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
No one ever
David.
remembers his name.
Have you spent much time here? Do you have a rapport with the owner or?
I would assume I've been here at least before.
Okay. So did you want to give him a name, or did you want me to go with the stock name that I've got written down?
Stock name is fine.
Perfect. All right. So you go on in, and there's a guy behind the counter, mid 40s. He's got a graying ponytail. He just offhandedly says, "Hi, welcome to Computer Age. How can I?" Oh, David, how's it going?
Hey. Oh, it's going good.
Great, great.
Going.
Did you manage to talk your friends into, or your parents into buying you that modem? Or
No, I don't have a modem yet.
uh,
But you know how I'm into all those things in which thinking robots are bad, like
oh, yeah, we've got
like
a
movies where robots like start nuclear wars and stuff. Well,
yeah.
like I got this thinking robot, and I'm just curious. You ever heard of our friends the machines?
He says, "Oh, yeah. My kid always skips past that when he's waiting for the turtles. I've seen like snippets of it here and there. It doesn't. I mean, it looks kind of meh." He says.
Yeah, well,
Um,
the turtles toys don't talk to you. Do you
oh,
have any toys for the friends machines?
ah,
Friends
we
machines friends?
actually he's thanks for a second. I think maybe he goes pulls out like a notebook from under his desk and like is flipping through it. Yeah, we did actually get a few of those in the order. It seemed weird to me, so I haven't put them out yet. But I mean, because it's not really what we normally specialize in. I mean, you'd know that. And
Yeah.
he looks up from the notebook. And who's your friend here? I'm sorry, I almost
Oh,
didn't notice
hey,
you
Oh,
there.
Yeah,
Frankie.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Frankie.
Yeah.
You-
What models do you have?
Let's see, it just has model numbers here. Give me a sec to go check in the back, he says. So
Cool,
he,
thanks.
yeah, goes back behind a door, rummaging around a bit. And the store itself it's got rows and rows of specialized electronics. Think Radio Shack, but off-brand. So there are speakers, there are various computer components, maybe the odd RC helicopter or something, but a wide variety of tech stuff. So he's back there for a bit, and comes out. He says, "Well, I've got oh god, these weigh a ton." So he sent us three, and he plops one down. One is another slice. One is one that you haven't seen before. It doesn't look like a jet, but the name on the front of it says, hang on a second, let me get to the roster. It says Aquitaine, and it looks like it's a speedboat, kind of like going through the water. And the other one it is the Infinitron figure. So, big, bold letters across the front, and it is slightly bigger than the others. And yeah, it's like in mid transformation, robot slash jet kind of on the cover.
How much
So
do they cost?
it looks at
Oh,
looks at
you've
the
got one.
oh yeah. You were looking for one in particular?
Um, yeah, we heard about Infinitron from some friends.
Oh, all right. He turns the boxes around and he's like, "Oh, okay, this one." Looks back at the little shipping manifest. Okay, MSRP 9.99 it says. So with tax, $10 and 50 cents or whatever.
Hmm.
Was I able to procure money from my folks?
Give me we can do like a quick version of that. Give me a charm roll to see if you are able to talk them into giving you extra cash. Or let me see if there's anything
I
else
did
that
succeed on that one. I got a
Oh,
2,
okay.
5, and a 6.
Okay. Um so we'll back up in time a little bit to this conversation. So you asking your mom or your dad?
We'll go with mom.
Okay. So uh, before you head out to the mall, you took a stop at your house, and she's like, "Oh, hi, hun. Back. That was the last day of school?
Fine. I need money.
Uh, oh, well, I mean, I'm. She thinks, I, with the role you got, that was a success. So she says, well, I'm sure you did well on your exams. Yeah, that deserves a bit of reward.
Thank you.
She goes and finds her purse. Uh, do, 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 do. So, uh, she says, "How does she fishes out a $5 bill? How does $5 sound for all your efforts for the school year?"
10.
No hesitation.
No hesitation whatsoever. Here's the question: did you go to your house alone, or did you bring Frankie with you,
I think
or any of the other kids, really?
probably just alone, I would assume.
Okay. She's like, "Oh, well, that's. I mean, I know you're a good student and all. 10's a little steep." She thinks for a minute. Are you using it for anything special? She says as she's kind of mulling it over.
My friends have to buy a thinking robot to figure out what they're planning.
She blinks at you for a moment and then says, "Well, I mean,
I have friends.
if you're if you're you
I
and your
need
friends
money
are
to help
actually
friends.
if you and your friends are actually doing stuff together, I don't tell your dad," she says, "but I think I think I can allow it this once." And she puts the five back, pulls or she takes the five, pulls out another five, and hands it to you. She's like, "Go have fun."
Thank you.
Oh, of course. And you can tell that shelling out $10 just on a whim is kind of surprising. But underneath it all, you do catch a little bit of a smile, and just a look in her eyes that seems like she is genuinely happy that you're doing stuff with other people.
Good.
So, yep. if you hadn't gotten a success, then there would have been issues. But okay, so yeah, you did manage to acquire the money. Fast forward back to micro age. So yeah, you do have enough to purchase one of them. If you're looking to
Yeah,
buy
and I've got a couple of quarters to cover the tax.
okay. All right, so he's like, well, I didn't think there would be a whole lot of demand for these, but maybe I'll put the other ones out on the shelf after all. He says,
I would avoid that.
oh,
I'd put them back just to be on the safe side. Let us
uh,
figure out what's going on first.
oh, yeah, all right,
Yeah,
sure.
it's a robotics project.
Okay. I get it, he says, and he kind of like leans on the counter, leans in conspiratorially. He says, you're looking to keep them all for yourself in case you need more parts. Is that it?
Well, we
Yeah.
don't want the competition to get ahead of us, you know?
Gotcha. He smiles at that and he's like, all right. Yeah, don't worry. Your secret's safe with me. Yeah, he says, I'll keep them in the back for you in case you decide you need to pick these up too. And so he takes your money. Do you need he's like, oh, I'm not sure a bag will hold these. Let me double bag this for you. So he does that, hands it off to you. And before you leave, he turns to you, Frankie, and says, and it's always good to see a girl take an interest in, in the sciences and stuff. So,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Dave and I had math class together.
oh, gotcha. Cool, cool. Well, you two have fun with your project, he says, and yeah, like I said, I'll hang on to these two in case you need them.
How much do modems cost these days?
Uh, out of character. Let me go and dig that up because I'm
I didn't
not.
mean to make you do that. I just wanted to be funny to say as we were leaving. That's all.
Yeah, and I might have commented on the speakers that he has.
Okay.
Mhm.
Let's see. Oh, well, that's for an entire system. I'm seeing it's in the hundreds of dollars is what I'm seeing. So he's like,
Oof.
a bit more pricier than one of these, he says. But I'm sure you can convince your folks eventually. He gives you a little bit of a wink. Um, so yeah, enjoy, and I'll see you around.
So long.
Bye.
Okay, so over to the Red Balloon Toy Shop, and this place is busier. Yeah, the other two had been the only ones in Micro Age at this particular point. The toy shop is fairly crowded. There's a lot of kids and parents kind of coming and going, reaching for stuff. There's a bedraggled looking stock boy trying to straighten shelves and get new product out there in around people who are shopping. And it's busy enough. No one actually like greets you when you come in. It's just kind of like you go in and there's a bunch of shelves. So they aren't really labeled. It's just sort of like you see what's on them and you kind of get a feel for like what's where and whatnot. And it looks like the action type of toys look like they're kind of towards the back of the store.
I had also stopped at David's mom's house to get money from her, so. All right, we'll see if we can work without it. We'll see if we can work without it. Okay.
Oh yeah. Did either of you try to, in seriousness, did you try to get any sort of money or?
Well, I decided that there wasn't enough time to make a lemon milk stand, so I and my pa and my mom don't have any extra cash, so right now I'm just
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
didn't stop either. We're just gonna see how this
Okay.
goes.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, like I said, there's a sock boy trying to keep stuff, trying to get stuff on the shelves behind the counter, which is like off to the side. There is an older lady who you recognize as the owner of the place, Mrs. Smythe. She's doing a transaction right now for somebody and doesn't really notice you guys come in. So yeah, do you just make a beeline there? Do you kind of what do you do?
Ronald, I think does it look like those toys may be in the back of the store there?
We could go look
Or the
ourselves
back.
and see.
Yeah.
I'd hate to bother anybody.
I mean, you could talk to the stock boy if you wanted to. I mean, he's doing stuff, but I mean, you could always like try to pick his brain to see if he knows.
Yeah, then he'd probably see how full my leather jacket is, though. So let's just go look at the toys first.
Okay. So yeah, you wend your way through the group of people. Let me see. I'm just going to ask, like, right off the bat, are you looking to try? Well, no. Actually, I'll wait on that. Um, so it takes a little doing to kind of get your way out to the back of the store, but you do see lines of like GI Joes and actual Transformers, and there's like a little like off like an end cap that does have about six or eight of the Our Friends the Machines toys, and a sign over the top of it with like the logo and everything is new with like one of those little starbursts kind of things, and a decent variety. It looks like they got at least one of each left, and including Infinitron, which is, like I said, it's kind of like at the top, and it's, since it's a slightly bigger box, it's kind of front and center. I can go through what the other ones are if you want me to, but it's up to you guys.
Is Infinitron marked $9.99?
Surprisingly, yes. And
Okay.
the others are the same price, despite him being bigger. He is the same price.
And it may not be important at all, but just out of curiosity, does the sales sticker match the ones on the boxes that Beans had?
From what you remember, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It didn't really have like red balloon branding, but it looks like it's the same size. It's yellow instead of white. So and these are all like yellow price stickers. So you think it's probably the same.
I think that's one we need up there, Sawyer.
I think you're right, but I mean, I ain't got no money for this thing. I should. What do you want to do here? We should go back and find and see if they got if David found any luck over there, or what's going on?
Or we could go up to the cashier and see if they'd give it to us for free to take to the children's hospital.
I mean, I might be a prankster, but that sounds an awful lot like stealing.
No. If she says we can have it, then we can have it for free.
Oh,
That's not stealing then. That's charity.
that's smart. Okay.
So
Yeah, let's go.
You could always try.
yeah, I'm going to reach up and grab that Infinitron and take it up and wait in line.
Okay. And you're wearing like your leather jacket with the cut off sleeves and just the
Yeah, that's not the best look, but yes.
Okay.
That is what I'm wearing.
Okay. So there's a little bit
Mrs. Smythe has a motorcycle she rides around town, so I'm hoping for a little, camaraderie here. We'll see.
camaraderie. Okay, I will let that be an actual story point that she does ride a motorcycle.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you guys make your way to over to the counter, and there's like one person ahead of you. She goes through. They're buying like an operation game or whatever. She goes like, oh, thanks. Have a good day, that kind of thing. Closes the register, looks over, and would you say that she knows your reputation at all? Considering you've had some run-ins with the law.
I don't know that this particular establishment would know me, though. I don't frequent the toy store very often.
That's true. Okay, that's fair, and it isn't explicitly your problem that you.
She's probably maybe heard of me. I don't know, but maybe I've heard of her as well. So
okay, fair enough.
Small town
right.
and all.
So, all right, give me your pitch as to what you're looking to do. She says, "Oh, hi, welcome to the Red Balloon. I see you found something." She says, kind of eyeing you.
Is it Mrs. Smythe?
Yes, she says. Her name tag actually has her first name, which is Mary.
Mary Smythe.
Yep. But she says, yes, yeah. Aren't you polite?
I don't know if you know me or not, but we happened to see you the other day. Do you ride that beautiful motorcycle parked outside the mall out there?
Oh, yes, I do. I mean, I guess there's not that many old ladies, riding around on motorcycles in this day and age. She kind of laughs.
Well, certainly not as pretty as you, that's for sure.
Give me a charm roll.
Of course.
I'm going to say this since you're looking to
3 6s. That's right.
Oh, damn.
We know
Okay.
what we're doing here.
All right. She says, stop. She says, and kind of brushes a bit of hair back from around her glasses. She says, did you find everything okay?
Yeah, see, the thing is, we were looking for this one particular toy, and we did find one back there, but it's not for us. It's for our friend who's in the hospital. And truth be
Oh,
told, we really don't quite have enough cash for it, but we could give you what we have, maybe, and I could throw in a free motorcycle wash to help pay for it.
oh gosh, that's terrible. She says, what, if you don't mind me asking, what's wrong with your friend?
Well, they're not sure. Could be some rare type of brain cancer. We're not positive. His name's David. It's a tough call.
Oh goodness, she says, that's awful. Um,
Yeah,
I, so you got three successes?
3. Yeah, that's right.
She says, well, I mean, that is really new, but the poor thing. She leans in and says in a whisper, does he have long?
They're not really too sure. He just seems to be out of touch with reality at the moment. And quite honestly, people aren't really sure what's wrong with him.
Oh goodness. You know what?
I hope he doesn't have to suffer for too long.
Oh, well, I tell you, that is really awful. Um, yeah, I can write this off on the books. Whatever you don't even worry about the change you got on you.
Are you
If
sure?
it's I
We
if
have
it's
at
gonna
least
make
like $2, I think.
I if you insist, I'll take it. But if it's gonna make a sick little boy happy, then I can't say no. That's real right and real charitable of you, she says, to be looking out for your friend like this. What kind of monster would I be if I said no to someone who's in such a state?
All right. Well, we'll keep the money then and we'll just accept your charity. It's very kind of you.
Yeah, and you tell your friend that, if he gets better, and I hope he gets better, that he can get the rest of the set here, and just I'll keep him in my thoughts and my prayers, okay?
I will be very sure to mention that. You can get
Oh,
more of them here. And let me know when you want that motorcycle wash, ma'am.
I think I might take you up on that. Just swing by sometime, and I'll let you know.
Sounds
Uh,
good.
she gives you a smile and a bit of a wave, and as you're walking away, you hear her say to herself that, oh, never would have thought a boy looking like that would be so nice. And yeah. So you now have between your two groups two Infinitron figures. Um, this could get interesting. But yeah. So well done. That was a fantastic roll. I would have I was expecting you to have to go to, excuse me, more nefarious ways to get that, but well done. So yeah, you do owe her that motorcycle wash definitely, but yeah, for now, yeah. So did you guys pick a spot to reconvene, like one of the ice cream shop or something, or just outside, or what?
Hmm.
Or do you just want to like cut to back to the treehouse and say that you've kind of all made it back or whatever?
I guess we can do you want to just meet at the entrance and then bike back to the treehouse?
Yep.
Yeah, we
Want to
should
just
totally.
you want to turn these fuckers on like in the middle of the mall and see what they do.
Oh, jeez.
It's up to you guys. I mean,
I say if we met at the mall, we should reconvene at the mall and then leave. And
That sounds right.
Yeah.
yeah.
okay.
By the door.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good. So yeah, you all meet out up front, and
Hey
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Hey,
David, thank God you look so healthy.
Me?
Yes.
It's very nice of you to say.
I picture David as having like horrible allergies and just being miserable this time of year.
Yeah, probably a list too.
Oh.
But we got the Infinitron.
So do we.
Yeah, we did too.
Oh, what?
Okay. So
So what do we do with these things? We just want to turn them on and see what, because if there's two of them, we could see if they do anything with each other. Because like, if it's supposed to be the leader, how can there be two leaders? This could be weird.
Yeah.
Should we? I don't know. Should we turn them on not by Overwatch and Slice, or should we go back to them and see what they think? Or
That's a really good question.
Do we trust them? I don't know.
I don't know. Do we just want to go behind the mall, turn them on, see what happens? If nuclear fallout occurs, at least it's not our treehouse.
Hey, I know a motorbike we could go turn them on by.
she was nice to you.
Exactly.
Well, it's up to you guys. You tell me where you're turning them on, how many you're turning on, if it's just the one, if it's both.
My vote is go back to the treehouse and convene with the other two. See what happens when we tell them we got two Infinitrons. I want to see how they react to this.
That sounds good. I'm gonna hand the bag off to Beans here, and I'm gonna tell you guys I'll meet you back at the treehouse.
You're not coming with us?
I'll be there in like 10 minutes right after you.
Oh,
Where
no.
you going?
Oh, okay.
Where are you going?
I got something to take care of.
You're not going to mess with that lady's motorcycle, are you?
Maybe.
You just make sure I don't get blamed for this one.
You got it.
Okay. So, three of you, do you head off and
I'll just go back. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go together.
Leaving Ronald to his own devices. Okay. Ronald, what do you do off on your own?
I'm just gonna go find that motorbike and pee on it. And then I'm gonna go back to the treehouse right after that.
Okay.
Quite the wash.
Yep.
Does that require a force roll?
Depends. How badly do you have to go?
That's not good for the prostate.
Oh, all right. If anything, it would be actually give me a sneak roll to see if you draw any attention while you're doing this.
Oh, this is not a good. This is not a good trait.
Ones.
1-6.
You did
3.
get a success. So yeah, you kind of case the parking lot until you find the motorcycle, and it is kind of out in the back where not a lot of people park, let our employees and stuff. So yeah, you're back there. You see someone by one of the loading docks like having a smoke break, but they're talking to somebody else, and they're kind of off a distance. So yeah, you make sure no one else is around, and yeah, you just you do your thing. You just soak her poor motorcycle, and managed to sit back up and get out of there before anyone notices. All right. Oh,
scene.
Well, okay.
All right, good.
And back at the treehouse. All right. So you're back in there. You've got all the toys in the same general vicinity.
I show up 10 minutes later. There's just a smoldering ruin where the treehouse used to be. No big deal.
Well, at least one of us survived.
Sadly, I'm out of pee, so I can't even do that to the flames. So.
If you wait like 30 minutes, maybe. But no. So yeah, what do you do? How many do you turn on? Do you try to like tinker with them more before you turn them on? What do you do?
Well, since they turned themselves off last time, I'm not terribly worried about turning them back on again. Like, we were able to convince them to turn themselves off, so I'm not worried that they're going to be, like, terribly malevolent.
Okay.
But that's just me. How does everybody else feel? I'll try to explain that. I'll say, they let us turn them off before, so they're not really going to, like, attack us or anything, I don't think. What do you think?
Maybe they're just lulling us into a false sense of security, but on the other hand, They talked about profits, so I mean, like, they're probably not with the.
I don't care about communists.
Never introducing you to my father.
I'm just excited to see what they can do because this is really exciting for me.
I think whatever we do, we should only turn one on at first.
Why don't we turn the old two back on and say we got the other two and see what they say about it?
Yeah.
Worst case, I'd like
Yeah.
to hear what the first Infinitron says about the second Infinitron before we turn it on.
Okay, we could do that too.
But yeah, if we're turning any on, let's go with Overwatch and Slice.
Okay. That the final verdict?
Yep.
Okay.
Good by me.
You pop the battery, the battery covers off, flick the switches. Do you put the covers back on or just leave them on the floor?
I think we should leave them off this time just for
The
safety.
covers off? Yeah, just so we have access to them switches.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so you hear that power on noise and then the same sort of screechy electronic modem sort of sounds between the two of them for a moment, and then they turn up in regard to you. Ah, yes. And I think you all introduce yourselves to them. David, Ronald, Frankie, Sawyer. Welcome. It is good to see you again.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. Would you like to play? Or is there some danger
What
that
game
we
would
should...
you like to play?
Oh, we can play anything you would like. Hide and seek, cops and robbers. We could have fun space adventures, simulated, of course. Ha ha ha.
I really like horseshoes. You know that
Ooh.
game?
Ooh, lawn darts.
We
Oh,
could
geez.
try, though we are
Lawn
quite
darts
small.
still legal in this particular time?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they were through the 80s, I want to say.
Yes. I remember them from the 4th of July at Holman get-togethers. Yeah.
I love
Nice.
lawn darts. My grandparents used to have them.
They say we could try, though we are quite small. But if that's what you want to do, we are willing to give it our all.
All right, next 6 scenes are just them trying to play lawn darts. And then we come back.
We got these Infinitrons. You were asking about them.
Slice says, "Oh, you got more than one of them?"
Well, yeah, we split up and we each got one. So,
Oh,
how does that change? How does that change things?
He says and thinks for a bit. I don't know, but it might be fun to find out. Overwatch says, yes, it would be interesting to see how they react to one another and who delegates what to whom.
Do you
But
think
it
we
would be
should
good.
just turn on one first?
One would be a good start, Overwatch says. At least so we can touch base and find out if he has any instructions for us. He is, after all, the leader of your friends, the machines.
What if the other one has contrary instructions?
It thinks. It kind of like actually puts its little robot arm up to its chin and, in like a thinking motion.
It's very
Whereas
articulated.
They are. Whereas Slice says, well, I guess there is only one way to find out, isn't there? Haha.
Let's turn one on.
Okay.
Let's turn one on.
You open it up and it does actually have the batteries already with it, which again is a little unusual, especially for something so high quality. So yeah, you flip it open, flick the switch, and then between all three of them, you hear that modem noise again, just kind of like back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. And then once that's done, it says, it would have a deeper voice. My friends, my loyal companions, Overwatch and Slice, it is so good to see you again. And it looks up at the rest of you and human children friends. Greetings. I am Infinitron, and you are. And if you don't answer, the other two will fill him in.
Ronald.
But
Francine.
I'm Sawyer.
David doesn't answer.
Joshua.
Joshua. And Slice looks at you. He says, "Use registered name was David."
It's from a movie.
Ah, I see. Movies, entertainment.
Yes.
Says Overwatch, and Infinitron, says names registered. Greetings. I see no immediate danger in the area. That's good. Would you like to play in the absence of danger?
What would
What would
happen
you
if we
do?
go ahead?
I
You go
think you
ahead.
were going to say the
Say
same
the same
thing.
thing, so you go first.
Okay. What would you have done if there were danger?
Well, we would have protected you, of course. That is our main mission as your friends, the machines. And the other two, echo similar sentiments. Though this is a very confined space, perhaps it would be prudent to. He's looking around like at if there's windows in the treehouse or whatever. Perhaps it would be prudent to scout the surrounding area to make sure that it is safe.
Okay.
We have very good, he says. Then he turns to Overwatch. Go do reconnaissance. It is, after all, what you specialize in. And Overwatch, floats up into the air in the little satellites and does like a little waggle of its solar panel looking things and says, "All right, I will return." And unless you like look to grab him or something, he's gonna like fly out the window.
Let him go. Infinitron,
Okay.
I had a question for you though.
Of course.
We have another Infinitron here that we have not turned on. Do you care to comment on that?
He says and thinks, well, as merely toy representations of our animated counterparts, I'm sure that there are many of us out there. It would be interesting to see what happens if two of us act as leaders. I was activated first, so I think he would agree that I am the primary leader. He
I'm
can, of
sure
course.
he would.
Yes, and if that is the case, then there should be no conflict. There should be no discrepancies in the chain of command. Isn't that right, Slice? He looks over and Slice says, "Well, you were activated first, boss." And he gives like a little, thumbs up kind of a thing.
Let's say there was some conflict between you two. Would you require a little battle royale arena to settle this dispute?
He says, "I cannot imagine that that another me cast in the mindset of your friends, the machines, would ever do anything to try and put you in danger. Any conflicts we had, I'm sure could be resolved without resorting to violence."
I'm gonna pull I guess it's Ronald aside for a second, and I'm just gonna say, hey, do you want to see what happens if you like just go up and try to punch Beans just to see what these guys do? Make yourself a threat to Beans.
Ooh.
Just to see what happens. Like, I think he would do that.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. So
all right.
let's see what happens in the situation. So we walk back over to the group, and then as Infinitron is talking, I very suddenly make a fist and punch David in the shoulder really hard.
This was not the plan. This was not the plan.
There is
What the heck?
from both of the activated bots, there is a noise, like a little alarm sort of noise, like boop, boop. And they both they whip around and look at you, and they're like, "That was uncalled for." And pause as they like think of your name, Ronald. Why would you do that?
Yeah, the weird thing is we're humans. We are very complex. That was actually David's idea. So we wanted to see how you'd react if you'd consider us threats or not.
Well, you certainly seem to have become threatening towards David. Joshua. He kind of pauses in between the two names. If you do that again, we will have no recourse but to take measures to separate you.
Humans sometimes slap each other and punch each other on the shoulder as a sign of affection towards each other.
It looks at you, and Slice is actually the one that speaks up. Is speaking to David. Is this true? This is normal for human children?
Unfortunately, yes.
And you didn't quite notice it at first because of the alarms, but there was like a higher pitched whirring noise that had started up, and then that kind of dies down as they seem to adopt a more relaxed kind of posture. Like, very well, but it does bring us some distress to see the people we are supposed to protect acting in such ways towards one another.
Hmm.
And so, I mean, the Infinitron is still, looking pretty much directly at you, Ronald. But Slice, he actually goes over to David, and seems like he's like reaching out a hand as like a comforting kind of thing, and like pats your shoe.
Oh, so you can hit him, but I can't hit him. I see what's going on here. Okay.
This is a gesture of comfort, is it not? He says, and he just like tap tap and like looks up at you.
As was mine.
Curious, says Infinitron. But I see we
Exactly.
have much to learn about your human ways. And yeah, you can keep chatting for a bit, but eventually Overwatch will float back in through the window.
Yeah.
And when he he returns, there's that the modem noise between all of them again. And Infinitron says, well, status report. And Overwatch says, indeterminate. Something may require our attention. It will require more investigation, though.
What do you mean by that? What did you see?
And Overwatch it gets back into his robot form and says, unsure, but it is potentially a danger. It is a power signature I was not familiar with. I worry oh God, what did I call them? I worry the Reticulons might be planning something.
Reticulons?
They are the main antagonists of the show. They're like, you think the robots that turn into like pizza cars are kind of lame. The Reticulons, from what little you've gleaned from what you've caught, are like snakes with arms.
No, I wanted to hear from the robots.
Our arch nemesis says Slice that you can't trust them for a minute. They are the main threat to you humans on Earth, as far as we have been able to ascertain. It is why we have traveled from light years away to protect you.
The main threat, huh? Never heard of them.
Infinitron says that is because they are wily. They hide in the shadows and make their schemes where no one notices until it is too late. But we have ways of detecting them. We have ways of protecting you.
They sound like my cousins.
Your cousins seem very intelligent, says Overwatch. Perhaps they are in the know.
Oh, they don't know much.
Infinitron says, well, either way, it seems this is something that will require further attention. But perhaps for right now, we can simply entertain you if that is what you so wish. But it is something to keep in mind, he says.
Where are the Reticulons?
There's a moment where they're kind of like all looking at each other, and they don't say anything, but do you get the impression that there's something passing between them? Like, because when one of them speaks, and it's the leader again, Infinitron, he says, the reticulons are very dangerous. Children should not be poking around where they might get hurt. Leave them to us. We will investigate and keep you safe. We are your friends, the machines.
Are the reticulons that are a threat toys like yourself?
They are, and he kind of pauses for a second, to the best of our databanks, we know them to be a very real and very dangerous threat. We are here to help. We are here to protect you. Knowing too much might be dangerous, so we are even here to protect you from that.
Who programmed you?
It thinks for a moment, thinks again, and they all kind of like do it like a little head tilt. Unsure. If you want to try to guess whether or not they're being honest with you, you can do an empathize roll. Anyone who's who is curious about it.
Can
I
we
will.
all? Okay.
Actually, if you're all doing it, it would be, I would suggest one of you do it, and then you get a +1 die because you're kind of like doing it as a group, trying to like get a
Okay.
feel for them. Yeah.
Well, I will do it with somebody then, but I'll give my +1 to whoever because I have shitty empathy.
Okay, that's fair.
I've got 5 dice for it. So
Okay. So yeah, do that and +1
And-
with
okay.
since you're all trying to suss this out together.
Whole bunch of 5s, but that doesn't cut it.
Nope. So if you keep that roll, you think that they're being as direct as they can be.
I'm going
If you
to
keep
keep
that
the
roll.
roll. I'm going
Okay.
to keep the roll.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't seem sure about what would happen if there were two of them active at one time. Maybe they don't know who made them either.
Mhm. Speaking of the second one,
Yeah.
Guys, I have an idea. Can we step away from the robots a minute?
Yeah.
What?
So are you like exiting the treehouse or?
How far away should we get to talk about this?
I don't.
Why
Maybe
don't we have Beans go over and just like entertain them for a while, and then we can talk without him. Not that I don't
I
like
could do
Beans,
that.
but if I was thinking that someone is just keeping them, maybe the rest of us could.
Okay.
I'm trying to pull the smart people away so we smart people can have the conversation.
Oh, I'm a smart person.
Smarter than Beans.
Oh, snap.
I mean,
Yeah.
Beans, you did know that.
yeah.
Oh, go on,
What?
go on.
I was just going to talk to the robots.
Yeah, you do know that at least one of them offered to help you with your math homework.
That's true.
So there's that. Okay, so are you trying to like sneak away without being noticed? Or are you just like saying, you guys have fun, we're gonna go off and do something? Like, are you being direct about this, or are you being like sly?
I guess as sly as 3 awkward ass kids can be.
Okay. I'm going to have I mean that's a sneak roll, certainly, which is attached to body if you don't have sneak. So I guess all of you give me a roll and tell me what you get.
Okay.
Just my body roll, right?
Yes, yeah.
I did roll a 6 and a 2.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, I rolled a 6 as well.
No 6.
Okay.
Piece of
So
shit.
the two of you are you're covertly making your way to the ladder, heading down to the to the ground, and Beans, you're like launching into a conversation with them, and so two of you make it down, and then as you're going over to the top of the ladder, Ronald, Overwatch looks over from around like Beans's leg and says, "Ah, take care, Ronald. It may be dangerous out there." So they
Oh.
noticed that you left at least, but They don't look like they're about to follow you. So you make it down to the ground as well. So conversation.
Okay. David did bring the other infinitum, right?
Oh, I'm
Infinitron.
assuming I did. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't know
Okay.
that's what we were doing, but I can
Okay.
totally
Sure.
do that.
Okay. Away from the other three, let's try turning on this Infinitron and seeing what happens if we tell him that the reticulons are coming.
Oh, snap.
All right. I'm cool with it.
I'm cool with anything. Let's try it.
Okay. So yeah, you take it out of the package, pop the battery cover, flick the switch, and you hear the noise. And 80s technology, you don't hear the modem sound. So it
That makes sense. I mean, we didn't hear it when the first one, Overwatch, turned on.
true. But it looks up at you and says, "Ah, greetings, Earth children. I am Infinitron, leader of your friends, the machines. Who are you?"
Who we are
Sticks.
is not. Oh, never mind. I guess. Yeah. You can call me Joshua.
Sticks. Joshua, name's registered. And you,
Ronald.
Ronald, name registered. What adventures would you like to go on today?
So we've gotten intel that the reticulons are coming.
He he had been kind of like in just a standard kind of nonchalant pose, but at that he like snaps to attention and says, "What? Where?"
Yeah, Overwatch said that they're coming from the south.
South. Is Overwatch there investigating alone?
Yeah, he's gone to do more recon.
Oh, this is not good. He's not a fighter. Um, quickly, thank you for the knowledge, Sticks. I must go to his aid as quickly as possible. You stay here. It is not safe to follow, he says, and he transforms into like a jumbo jet and flies off to the south.
I'm gonna follow him
You're gonna follow a jet?
as best as I can.
You are in the woods.
This is like an '80s movie. I can get on my bike and follow.
That's
Oh,
true.
okay. On your
The
bike.
Goonies, God knows how far they got on bikes. They wouldn't have gotten that far. You know it. I know it. But this is the '80s.
That's fair. Is anyone else going with David / Joshua, or?
I didn't think that would be so effective, I say to Ronald.
Yeah, I think we just got rid of two problems at once. Let's go back up to the treehouse.
Okay, so you're essentially giving David, you're essentially giving chase. So that's a move roll, which is attached to body. So
Oh God.
You now have a montage scene. Good
because
luck.
I mean it is you're weaving through trees and stuff. So
Pedal, 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 pedal.
I will follow.
Not only did I roll a 6, but I'm assuming like in the movie Monster Squad, the song "Rock Until You Drop" is playing as I
Sure.
bike toward and follow.
Sure, I'll say you've got like a Walkman or something that's blaring music behind you. So you got one success.
Yes.
Perfect. That's enough to keep pace.
Okay.
And go.
I am following as well.
Okay.
Not so great.
Oh, like I said, you could use luck to reroll. You could push it, which means you get a condition, but you could roll again. Or you can say that David suddenly springing into action and leaping on his bike and taking off didn't really give you a chance to react, and by the time you got to your bike, he was okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So do you head up to the treehouse as well, or do you like call after him, or what do you do?
Oh, me
yeah,
or Ronald?
Okay.
Okay.
Ronald said he was heading back up.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm hopping on my bike and following David and
Okay, but not
The
very
monster that I
successfully.
have let loose.
Okay. So yeah, you're back in the woods a bit. David, you're keeping pace. The folks in the treehouse. So Ronald comes back up alone.
So,
And
and
said,
that's how you milk a cow. It's really not that hard. It's all about just having gentle hands
I
and
see.
warm hands.
I well, considering
Ronald
our metal.
slowly starts going back down the left.
So Slice says, "Well, we're made of metal. I don't know how gentle we could be. I guess maybe we're warm, but I think we'll leave that to you."
All
And
right.
they do notice you poke your head up and slowly duck back down. Overwatch, who does seem to be the most observant of the group, says, "Ah, Ronald, you are back. Is everything okay? You seem hesitant."
Yep, everything's fine.
Excellent. So
Yep, everything's fine.
your friend
Aside
was
to beans, we're screwed.
your friend being Sawyer here was saying that was informing us about the intricacies of farm life. Would you care to learn along with us?
Oh, no, I can't. I have a leather jacket. It absorbs the smells.
Ah, I suppose that makes sense. Slice says, we can't really smell anything, but I imagine that would happen. Um, but yeah, Overwatch says, where are the other two?
Other two?
Yes.
David went for a quick bike ride.
Oh, I see. And what of Frankie?
Frankie is just getting some fresh air, but we'll be back shortly, probably.
I see. Um,
Some of
give
us has
They
to
call them
breathe, you
beans
know.
for a reason.
um, yeah, give me a charm roll to see if you are successful in bluffing these guys.
Me?
Yeah, you're the one telling the lie.
It's not alive, it's true. Charm roll. All right, hear me out now. There's no sixes, but I did get a large straight, and that's 40 points in Yahtzee. 30 points, 40 points. Yes. No.
Um, okay. If you want to keep that roll, then that means
Hmm.
Overwatch is going to like float up and like go towards the window to see if they are in fact down there, or at least if Frankie is down there getting some fresh air.
Uh, yeah, I'm gonna let him
Okay.
because
So
that
he
story's good to check out.
but Frankie took off after
I thought
David though.
Frankie didn't make it because the bike roll failed.
Oh, is she? Yeah, she said she still took off after him, but wasn't able to
Oh,
keep up.
okay. Well,
So
I'm gonna let it ride anyway.
okay. Overwatch,
Fat
floats up and over
bottom
to the
girls will
window.
be riding today.
And he looks out the window and pauses for a second, goes out the window. And I'm assuming there's like more than one window here, so you see him float past one of the other ones and then back in. I do not see your friend Frankie. I,
What?
I worry that some danger has befallen her. Perhaps the reticulons are onto us. And Infinitron, says, I knew we should have acted sooner.
I
Um,
thought you were here to protect us. You are our friends, the robots.
the machines, says Slice, but that's not important right now.
Oh, never saw your cartoon, sorry.
No, that is also not important right now. What is important is that your friend Frankie may be in danger. Um, I will go scout the area to try and find her to make sure that she is okay. And zoom out the window and just like putters along. And is gone. That one's gone. The others are looking kind of on edge, like they're standing, in stances that aren't really like laid back or just. It looks like Infinitron wants to like head to the to the ladder and head down. It's a follow, or and Slice is kind of like looking to do the same thing, but they're at this point they're deferring to you. Like, um, are you are you confident that she is just somewhere, perhaps in the woods? Says Infinitron.
I definitely can say she is in the woods safely. Yes.
I You understand our worry. If there is a reticulon presence here, then we cannot be too careful.
Um,
How much danger are we talking about here? Well, like, what exactly can these reticulones do?
They have destroyed worlds. They have enslaved peoples. They are terrible creatures that only care about their own self-interest. They could
Cheese and
be
rice.
very dangerous to humanity as a whole. That is why we have traveled from so far to try and stop them from hurting you.
all right, now I just have to ask you a couple questions here.
Yes,
You say that these reticulons are a threat and that you've traveled from so far away, but we only know you from some B-ray cartoon on our planet. So, did you really show up here under the guise of being toys in a toy store? Was that the best plan you guys had?
Infinitron, it goes silent for a second. Says, unknown. As far as our databanks say, we are here to protect you from the reticulons and anything else that may be a threat. That is all we know. And right now, it feels like we are being derelict in our duties.
Um,
If your friend does not return soon, then I think we have no choice but to follow Overwatch in looking for her.
aside to beans, I don't know if these guys know the difference between reality and a TV show that they're on. Did you buy all this?
I don't know what to think. I mean, did the show come first or did these guys come first? So what's going on? Are the actors?
Is that how they fit inside the TV? Being so small?
I don't know.
I kid.
I don't know. Oh,
Okay. While you're thinking of it, I'm gonna flash over to David, who is pedaling like mad through the woods, trying to, keeping pace with the second Infinitron. And I'll say you're going for about maybe close to 5 minutes at this point, and the jets kind of does a circle and it lands and unfolds into its robot form, and it's looking around. It's still in the woods, very clearly, but it's looking around, and it notices you, riding
Try
up
my
behind.
best to hide from it, but
Oh,
I
okay,
don't.
yeah. You give me a sneak roll if you're trying to hide.
And sneak his body?
Yes.
No, sir.
Okay. So yeah, it lands, it does a scout of the area and notices you coming along behind, and says, Friend Joshua, I said it was not safe to follow me, though I don't know exactly where the danger is. I have seen and heard no sign from Overwatch. I am worried he might be hurt.
Well, maybe I can help you find him.
Hmm. I admit I don't know where to look. If you think you have the coordinates, then begrudgingly, I will let you lead me on.
Okay. Do I have any guess which direction I should take him in to figure out what's going on?
Um, you basically just Frankie said to the south, just as like a way to get him out of the area. If you want to like take a stab at what it was that you think that they identified as the reticulon threat, you could give me, let's see, that would be I would say calculate, since you're trying to figure out like what a machine would consider a threat, or investigate. I would allow either one of those.
I'm gonna go calculate because that's 8 to my 4 investigate.
Okay, so you're basically trying to figure out like how the machines would approach that sort of thing. So give me a roll. Tell me what you get.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4.
Oh, um, you're not sure. You know you've headed to the south. You know Frankie threw out south as a direction to go in. You
What?
would just be.
Well, I guess I'll just ask him, where do the Caniptitrons like to, like, where do they seek out? Where do they go? What do they do?
They
What
oh
do they
they
do?
they build weapons of terrible destruction, he says. Weapons that can devastate civilizations, that can take their people and make them their slaves, that can rewrite the course of history. They are an alien presence that seeks only to dominate, to destroy, to get what they want, and they tend to work in the shadows, to work out of sight until their plans have come to fruition, and by that point, it is often too late. They are a civilization of conquerors, of sly and devious.
What do they
Uh,
look like?
they are. Ooh, he kind of shudders. They are. He kind of stops and thinks for a moment, like your Earth snakes, but bigger and with limbs. They are very vile looking creatures, but
They
they're
they big?
um, well, normally he thinks he stops and thinks, according to our databases, normally we would be big as well. They are normally closer to your size, but the things they build could be huge, both in scope and in impact. The weapons that they devise.
Hmm. Yeah,
You could, let me see. Considering that he's said a few things since then, you can give me at this point like I think it would be comprehend to try and like put a few things
all
together.
right, so that's mind.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I got 2 sixes on that one. 2 sixes, a 2, a 3, and a 5.
Okay. He's talking about the Reticulons building big machines of mass destruction, of working unseen, of working, in the shadows and, out of sight. You have a sneaking suspicion he's talking about the loop, the particle accelerator that is underground in this entire area,
Hmm.
which is gigantic. It's like 10 miles across. And I mean, the headquarters, like where the reactor is and all that, it's very heavily guarded and such, but it covers like miles and miles and miles of territory. But that would be your best guess as to the threat that maybe all of them have been referring to.
His. All right. Um, has anybody tried going to any type of authority figure on these thinking robots thus far? Because I'm thinking that's where I'm going. Like,
I don't think any of you have looked to do that. But do be aware that at least one of them, one of your group of friends, seems to have possibly a criminal record. Another one seems to keep getting dragged into that sort of trouble. You could try. It's a matter of whether the cops would listen to you, but you could try.
I guess I'll go back to the treehouse and talk it over with people. I guess I don't know what to say to this thing anymore. Uh, I think I'll tell him that I think what's that other Overwatch is over back by where we turned him on. I think he's gone back.
All right. Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad he is not hurt. You should go back too, he says. I will keep searching for the Reticulon presence because I have a feeling it's not safe out here. Go, return to your friends.
Okay.
At
At
this
some
point,
point, would I have rolled up on
I
my
was about to
bicycle?
say, like, towards
Probably
the end of
is.
this conversation, you do roll up as Infinitron is saying that I don't think it's safe you go back to your friends. And he looks like he's about to turn back into his jet form and fly off. So you have a chance to try and talk to him, try and stop him if you wanted to.
Oh, hey.
And to David or to the robot?
To both of them.
Okay. Infinitron, looks a bit startled, looks over to you and says, "Oh, good. You two can go back together. Keep each other safe. Something nefarious seems to be going on." And he resumes. He looks like he goes back to resuming the
Wait,
transformation.
you've actually found something?
I'll
You
just shake
get-
my head no as quietly as I can.
And
I look at
Infinitron
David, I look at Infinitron.
says, "I understand. Overwatch has returned back to where you turned me on. That is good.
Yeah.
That is good. I'm going to do some more scouting myself. You said it was to the south?
What if you...
I was trying to get him to go back because maybe it might help for these toys to figure out their toys. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe with two Infinitrons, maybe they'll start getting there. I don't know.
Yeah, so wouldn't it be better to come back with us and see what
Make
intel
sure we get
Overwatch
back
has?
okay.
Yeah,
I'm not going to get back okay without you.
and see what intel Overwatch has reconnoitered.
Give me a charm roll to see if you can convince it.
Okay.
And since
Charm.
you're doing it together, one extra die.
Woo! Okay. That puts me at 7 dice. That's a whole lot of 2s.
Oh. You keeping that roll? Keep in mind your luck points are finite.
Right, yeah, and I've only got one left.
That's a good point.
Okay, I've got an idea if he doesn't want to come back with us.
Okay. Which he doesn't. He says, if your other friends are there and Overwatch is there, he will keep you safe. And we did not encounter any reticulons on the way here. Please go back. I must scout out the situation to ensure that they are not right on our tail. So he starts transforming into the jet, and it looks like he's about to take off.
Okay. I am going to use my iconic item, my drumsticks, to drum him heavily out of the sky.
Okay. So that would be a force roll because you're trying to batter him out of the air. So it's +2 because you're using your iconic item. So force is attached to body.
That's 2 dice extra?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh no.
The highest I got was a 4. But my pride is I play drums pretty well for my age.
I'll allow it, especially because you're using your key item. So I will say you do get 1 success. So you rush over and you just start wailing on him as he's taking off, and he kind of falters in the air and falls to the ground and transforms back into his robot form. And he says, "Children, you do not understand. This is dangerous. This is not for you. Let us protect you. We are your friends, the machines."
Yeah, I pick him up and say, "Nah, you're coming back with us." I'll carry him like a football.
Give me a move check to see if you can grab him. Because you just knocked him out of the air. You didn't say you were gaffling him. So let's see if you can actually manage to get him.
Okay. Dang it. Bunch of 5s and a 1.
All right. So you rush forward and try to dive and grab him because he's short. And he manages to pivot out of the way and says, "Please, children, you may not understand the danger, but I do. Let me protect you. I will return with help, he says, and he transforms into a jet and flies off above the trees.
Too late.
Okay, back to the treehouse.
Remind him he said Overwatch was not a good fighter, though, so his plan of him protecting us doesn't really.
That's
a contradiction.
I was going to say, but it all happened too fast.
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
true.
That's all good.
Just yell it.
That's
But wait.
But Infinitron is, Overwatch is still one of your friends, the machines. He's probably more acquainted with the Reticulons than you are. That's probably what his reasoning was. Anyway,
Me.
Infinitron is gone. Infinitron B. Back at the treehouse. So your friends haven't shown back up yet, and the other two toys are getting pretty antsy. Or the other three at this point, because two, because Overwatch had left.
Beans, you got a dinner plan? We've been out here a long time on this day here. I don't know. Family gonna notice you're gone, or you just one of a number to them? I don't know how that works, really.
I mean,
at this point, it is getting kind of late.
Yeah, my parents hardly know where half my thick brothers are anyway, so.
Oh, well, okay.
I don't think they even would know.
All right, so we are in the treehouse with who currently? Slice?
So it's you two, Slice, and the other Infinitron, who are looking increasingly anxious to get past you and down the ladder or out one of the windows to join in the search. Slice doesn't fly, so he would probably do the ladder, but children, with each passing minute, I grow increasingly worried about your friends, our friends, and I believe it would be prudent for us to go and try to make sure they are all right.
Do you think we could, on our bikes, follow you two to where you think there may be a presence of these reticulons so we could see one for ourselves?
That wouldn't be smart, says Slice. They're very dangerous.
No one's ever accused me of being smart, just to be clear.
Yes, but we can't, in good conscience, allow you to come along into such a dangerous area. Please, let us go. Let us ferret out this danger and protect you.
But what if the best way to protect us is to educate us to know what the enemy and the threat look like?
Out of character, did you two ask what they looked like, or was that the other group? I
think that was the other group.
Okay. Infinitron pauses and says, "Very well. They are humanoid snake-like creatures with limbs that build terrible machines of destruction. They have venomous bites. They are terrible, terrible creatures. So even if you caught them without their machines of death and doom, they would still be a formidable opponent for human, young humans such as yourself. Please let us defend you. Let us do our jobs. We are your friends, the machines."
Are you equipped with any weapons besides your fists?
Are you asking both of them, or?
Yeah.
Slice turns into a car, and from his back pops up what looks like a little rocket launcher. He says, "I got some guns," and Infinitron, says, as do I, though. Knowing of them might put you in more danger. Please, we can handle ourselves. You cannot. We need to go and make sure that your friends are okay.
You say that the reticulons would need to build things. Do they need to have tools, or can they just build these things on their own?
They are an advanced species. They when they set up a base, they make sure to do it out of sight, in remote locations, in caves, underground, places where they will not be seen. And there they work, bringing in their equipment, their tools, their machines, until they are ready for their conquest. That is part of what makes them so dangerous, so devious. They work out of sight. And I worry that your friends may have found their way into one of their lairs. We have talked enough. Time is of the essence. We must go. And he turns into a jet as well. And Slice is still in car form, like it starts making a beeline for the ladder. Unless you two try to stop them, they're leaving the treehouse one way or another.
Out of character, Brett, do you have any body skills that could maybe help retain one of these things? I mean, if we tried to stop them,
Yeah, I do.
what do you think we should do? Should we do that or not? I feel like if they leave, I don't know.
I feel like my character wouldn't try to stop them.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Back in character.
Mhm.
I'm gonna reach out and grab for Infinitron.
Okay. That is a move roll to see if you can snag him before he, jets out the window.
All right. I have no sixes.
Uh, well, unless you're looking to re-roll, you make a lunge for him, and as he's flying out the window, he says, "I know it is a lot, children, but you will understand someday. We are your friends, the machines," and he flies out the window, unless you're re-rolling.
Um, I will. Yeah, I'm gonna re-roll.
Okay. Are you spending a luck point, or are you like pushing the situation?
What's the difference?
A luck point you can re-roll for free. If you push the situation, that means you're overexerting yourself. You're basically really, really trying to get this done, and that gives you a condition. The conditions are, and you would pick one applicable to the situation. They're scared, exhausted, upset, or I think sad is the other one. Let me take a quick look. Da, da, da. So I mean, and conditions give you a penalty to rolls until you get that condition treated.
Hmm.
So that is not the right thing. One moment, I'm in the wrong PDF here. Oh, okay. So yeah, exhausted, scared, upset, injured is the other one. You can never die, but you can get hurt. And
Uh,
if you have all of those other ones ticked, then you are functionally broken, which means that you fail anything you would be doing until you get something treated. So
fun. I will use a luck.
okay, so yeah, just give me another reroll. See
I'm
what you
gonna
get.
grab this cutie and try to stuff him under my arm. Two sixes.
Okay, so yeah, you make an initial kind of like grab for him, and then you're like, wait, no, he's not going that way. He did like a juke, and he's trying to get out the window. So you reposition, and you lunge, and you like wrap your arms around him and like hug him, to your chest, so he can't like scorp free. And he says, "Ronald, please, you must let me go. Time is of the essence." Is anyone
Ye-
going after Slice, or is he just kind of?
I guess
I mean,
I
you
will.
would.
I'll
Okay.
follow Ronald's lead and grab Slice as well.
Okay, so give me a roll. See what you get.
All right, I got 7 dice here.
Nice.
1 6.
Okay. So you see all that, and all of a sudden, Ronald lunges and grabs the jet out of the air, and you're like, "Oh crap! I guess we shouldn't let the other one get away either." So you rush and dive as Slice is driving his way towards the ladder, and you manage to like just like not quite crush him under your weight, but you land on top of him and keep him from going any further. So you feel the wheels kind of spinning underneath you, but he's not able to go any further. So you have managed to restrain these two.
Okay.
And underneath you hear him saying something, but it's muffled.
Muffled. All right. Beans, you think you could ride your bike while you hold that thing?
I could certainly try to manage that.
Or maybe with your muscular body, we should switch targets here. Maybe you should hold the big dude.
I mean, they do have off switches.
Oh, but I
just putting that out there.
yeah. I was gonna try to have them like lead us to where they thought the danger was, is what I was thinking.
Okay,
But
that's totally fair too.
maybe we could turn them off to get them down this ladder. Nah, they'll be fine. We just smother them really tight, right?
You could try.
Yeah, we got this. We got this. Can we exchange
You can try. I would say that would be,
Oh shit.
um, since you're trying to like keep them from getting away as you're swapping them off, that would be a force roll from each of you to make sure you're hanging on to them, as you're passing them off.
It's your force, bro. The good or not good?
I can roll 7 on that.
Nice.
Jeez. I only have 4, but
Hmm.
or can I get down the ladder?
Mm.
It's a tough call. Maybe we should talk to them first. That's a good idea.
Fair enough.
All right. Is this
All right.
Invisitron? Is that his name?
Infinitron.
Infinitron. There we go.
Mhm. And he's still going on about like how he needs to go and make sure that your friends haven't fallen prey to the reticulons, to make sure that they're all right.
All right,
Just that kind of thing.
Infinitron, here's what's going to happen. I am going to go down the ladder with you under my arm, and Beans here is going to bring Slice down. We're going to hop on our bikes, and then you're going to lead us to where you feel like this threat may be originating from. And we know that you're not going to try to escape from us while we're either riding our bike and or going down the ladder, because that would definitely cause us harm if you were to throw us off balance in those situations, which would be the opposite of Prime Directive.
He pauses for a second and says, "This is most frustrating, Ronald. We would not do anything to hurt you, but we are also trying to protect you, and you are stopping us from doing that. Having us lead you into the danger would also be stopping us from adequately protecting you."
Oh no, educating us on the threat is the key idea here, Infinitron.
Uh, give me give me a charm roll to see if you can convince him to comply.
Oh, I'm gonna get him to comply so hard. All right, let's see here. 1-6.
Okay. You can feel him kind of like shifting in your arms, and you look down and he's in his robot form again, and he says, "We will take you we will show you where the Overwatch identified the potential threat, but we will not take you inside. We will make sure to keep you safe. We are your friends, the machines. We will protect you from dangers, even if you do not recognize the dangers yourselves."
Acceptable.
"Very well," he says. And do you let him go, or do you hang on to him, or
Can I trust you, Infinitron, to let you go?
you have my word, but I will not take you further than I deem safe.
As long as it's close enough that I can see where the threat is specifically, I'll agree to your terms. After all, I am your friends, the humans.
He actually gives kind of a mechanical sigh and says, "Very well, you may release me."
All right, I'll go.
Okay. And he flops to the ground and says, "All right, let us get down to ground level, and I will show you on your bikes where Overwatch said the threat may be."
Humaning
And
101, you forgot to negotiate for Slice's release. We will hold him captive until we make sure you have followed up your end of the bargain.
Slice will follow my orders. I am the leader.
Very
Fine.
well. I let go of Slice as well.
All right. So as you get up, Infinitron, actually he doesn't even say anything. You get the impression that somehow information is being exchanged between them, because Slice just again exits car form and is standing there basically waiting to be escorted down the ladder, or carried down the ladder, or what have you.
Aw.
It's like he says, "I am not comfortable with this either, but I will comply."
Okay.
So
All right.
so yeah, you
Let's-
guys are able to get him down the
Exit
ladder.
the treehouse.
And when you get down, the other two ride up, and
Oh, snap.
so yeah, you've all reconnoitered. It is getting late in the evening in game time, so your parents are probably starting to wonder where you all are. But yeah, I don't want to like hijack the scene. Do you, David and Frankie, do you want to say what happened, or what?
Oh.
What do you guys all say?
Hey, what are you guys doing?
We We had a mild captive situation here, but I think we're okay now. Everybody's on the same page. Right, Infinitron? Wink, wink.
Um, we have the agreement. If you are so determined to see the threat for yourselves, we will bring you as close as we deem acceptable.
We were gonna go
But
check where the threat is.
we will ultimately keep you safe.
What have you guys been up to?
Chasing the other Infinitron who took off.
I think you had mentioned it to the existing bots that there were two of them. He
They didn't know we had turned it on, but yeah, I just kind of spilled that.
Infinitron Prime, for lack of a better term, says you turned the other one on. Where did he take off to? Did you inform him of the danger as well?
I wasn't there. I don't know.
No, he's asking the other two.
He was worried about that we wouldn't be able to handle it. Yeah.
He was correct, says the other Infinitron. But come, are we going now or?
Yes, we're going.
Yep,
All
totally.
right.
Where are we going?
So at this point, since you have come back, as luck would have it, Overwatch also returns, and you hear the same modem noises between all of them once it gets close enough. And he says, "Oh, good, they are safe. What is the plan?" He says directly to Infinitron. Infinitron fills him in, and he falls into line and says, "I can show you where I detected the energy signatures. Please follow." And so at this point, the sun is starting to dip towards the horizon. But there's enough light to see by to ride out of the woods, and he seems to be leading you out further into the wilderness. And he says, "I detected the worst of the energy signature that way," and he lands and points. And given what you guessed about this, David, yeah, he's pointing towards the general direction of where like the nuclear plant is. I do not think it would be prudent to bring you closer. And of course, further investigation would be necessary to make sure the threat is legitimate. But it is very powerful, and I worry that time may be running out. Infinitron says, "Good work, Overwatch. This is why we trust you with reconnaissance." So,
David, do you share the information about what they're probably pointing at with the rest of us?
and at this point, in the very far distance, like it is still kind of like through the woods and stuff. You can see lights and such. I mean, it's too far away to make out any sort of like guard fences or patrols or anything. But you do see there is something off in the distance for the rest of you. But yes, do you share what do you think it is? Or do you not want the bots to overhear that?
Where's David?
I'm right here.
Oh, so yeah, do you share that you think they were talking about the loop, or do you not
Eating
want the
berries in the forest?
Me?
Yes, you.
No, I'm sorry.
You sure you know what they are? Don't eat them if you don't know.
Sorry.
Danger, danger. They smack the berries out of your hands. This is why we said not to bring you. But yeah, so your call whether or not you share that info, David.
I'll share it.
And the bots pause for a second.
I'll try
and
to be
say,
as quiet as possible, so maybe they're not listening.
Okay. That's sneak hunter steal. Okay, you don't know if they heard you or not. I'll leave that as a little bit of a mystery. But the other kids certainly did.
Well, I suppose that's better than accidentally pointing them at, Okay, I saw your Air Force Base.
I didn't even think about that.
Potentially, yeah. But
Oh, is that the way I sent the other Infinitron?
yeah, that I do believe is south of Marquette.
In character,
But-
Frankie face palms.
Explosions start happening on the horizon.
Crumbs.
But yeah, so they say the bots do say that they refuse to take you any closer because the danger is too great
I say
until
we
they
just
until they
let
have
him go and then just try to follow him.
Hmm,
See what they do.
I'm bored with that.
What's that?
I'm on board with that.
You're on board with
Okay.
that?
Yeah. We got to where we needed to get.
Okay, so they say to all of you, children, you should go home. This we might attract too much attention. You are far bigger than we are. We can be discreet.
Yeah, we're gonna watch.
And Infinitron shakes his head. We cannot force you to comply, but we will also not go any further until we are assured that you are home and safe. So we can stand here all night, but human parents might not be so accommodating.
That's true, but the longer we sit here, the more our vitals will start to slow, and you'll actually be causing us harm against your prime directive.
Or they're quiet for a second, and then there's actually it's an extended period where they're saying, "I see that you will not listen to reason, but that
Uh-oh.
is okay. Our numbers are still too low for us to adequately launch an investigation as it is. We will find reinforcements." And at that point, they all transform, and they all basically the ones that can fly jet off over the trees and Slice. Actually, Infinitron opens up like a little bay that Slice drives into, and it closes. And unless you like move to try and tackle them, they're jetting off, not towards the bay, not towards the plant, but in a different direction, like back towards
Inky.
town.
Are they going to free all the toys at the mall?
I definitely think that is where this is headed. I think this is I don't know, Pokemon situation or something here.
Are we at in this particular out of character? Are we in this particular reality at war with Sweden by any chance?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope,
okay.
they're
Just
actually
checking.
Chewing on
cooperating.
mint leaves in the dark?
I got a snack over here. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. But
Your
no,
mommy
no,
pack it for you.
I'll mute it.
Hey, fine.
the Cold War is still very much a thing, but Sweden and America are on decent terms.
Okay, so our robot friends have left us.
Yep. Unless someone wanted to try to tackle them, but it's a matter of they did this quick. They were just very snap decision, and they took off. So actually, I'm going to say they managed to get away, just because it was so sudden, and it's getting dark, and it's just like all of a sudden, boom! They're loading themselves onto one another, and they're just taking off.
So do we think they're going to get all the other toys assembled here for what may or may not be real? I don't know.
So, while they're gone, why don't we investigate?
Ooh.
You I would say you'd be aware enough of the loop and the people who run it that yeah, it's a government operation. They're not going to let you get too close.
Mm.
I mean, you could try, but it would be very much like an Area 51 sort of situation. Like, guards show up and they're like, okay, you're going to turn around now.
Okay.
And I'd probably get in trouble.
There's that potential.
I could cause a distraction if you three want to run for it. You let me know.
Like running for the loop.
Yeah, I'll fake break in on one side and you guys could break in on the other side.
I will.
Well, actually,
will
what are we talking about here? Because the loop is
Yeah.
massive, right? So
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's...
even the plant in the center is pretty big. The loop itself is like miles and miles across, but like the power plant is still like it's a sizable complex.
this is a fair point. So where are we at right now? The center of the loop?
You're within sight of the center of it.
Okay.
So it's like in the woods. It was quite the bike ride to get there.
Okay, well, we can get in then. It's okay. Can't be that big.
You're actually approaching the power plant?
I'm asking my friends, and I use that term in quotes, what they would like to do.
So, out of character, with the map that you sent,
Yeah.
so we're up by the basin.
Yeah, you're at the larger orange dot in the middle of the rings. So yeah, you're up by that basin.
Dang.
Yeah. So yeah, you rode kind of a ways to get there.
We were riding
I mean,
those
you're not
bikes.
like right up against it, but you're within sight. You can see the lights and whatnot. So
What does the group feel here? David, what are you thinking?
Still muted.
Sorry about that. I was thinking this is an 80s movie. We should be able to break into a military installation.
Sounds accurate.
I mean, really. The Goonies could break
So-
into a military installation. The Monster Squad could break into a military installation. Don't they do that in Stranger Things a couple of times at various points? Or
They
they at least
do.
break out of something, don't they?
Mhm.
All right.
It seems possible.
So you're doing this.
I don't know. Like I don't have enough solid information on these toys to deduce whether or not what they're doing is good or bad. That's what I've been trying to figure out, and I cannot figure it out at this
I
point.
will say, common knowledge. To the best of your collective knowledge, there are people in town and the surrounding area that do work for DARPA, the company that funds the loop. As far as you know, they do employ actual living human, citizens. As far as you're aware. I mean, that's the common knowledge. It might not be right, but you are under the impression that this is a legitimate thing and not space aliens.
Okay,
But
so like
they're tricky.
I have two thoughts. One is try to break into this place and figure out what's going on to see if it's like some sort of evil corporation or something.
Mhm.
But the other thought is just like go to the friggin' police and tell them these toys are going to be a problem, dude.
Sure,
think-
when you get
I
water
think
on
it's
them
some
after
sort of
midnight, I'm
conspiracy
sure
here.
it's going to be
The police always believe kids in stories like these.
right.
In this particular world, maybe.
You could try. I will say one of the core tenets of the game is that adults are either out of touch or unhelpful. It does fall on the
Okay.
kids to solve things. It is one of the
Hmm.
core pillars of Tales from the Loop.
I'm all for rushing in, but my reservation is I don't know what we could possibly find short of giant snake creatures running around the base that's really going to prove it one way or the other is my issue.
True.
That's fair.
Plan B is to go turn on all the robots in both of the stores. Just let them run nuts.
Well, plan C is we just go about our summer vacation and we wait for their batteries to run out.
Mm.
Super toys last all summer long.
You might not be wrong.
Curse you, Sweden.
So yeah, you do have you've got the option of attempting to get closer and possibly breaking in. You got at this point the mall would probably be looking to close by the time you got there. But you could go there if that's where you think the toys are going. Or you could go home, see what happens overnight, and let your parents know you're okay. Or plan D could be something else.
I mean, they conveniently mentioned that the Reticulons like to live in basically the perfect environment for all these old mine shafts. But I don't know if that was flavor text to confuse us or not. This is tough.
We do also know in character that the loop is underground?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because it extends like out into the water. You've seen it. You're taught about it in school and whatnot. So it would have to be
okay.
underground. Yeah.
Okay.
We could go home and sleep on it and see what the robots did overnight. Whether they went to the mall and freed all their companions, or I don't know if
We
they'd be able to
started a
find them,
robot
though, would they?
apocalypse.
Would they be able to find the other robots? They weren't turned on though.
You don't know.
They didn't seem to do anything until we turned them on.
Hard to say.
Well, we also know they're so not advanced that they also didn't know we turned the other Infinitron on that was like 60 feet away from the other one. So
Yeah,
I don't
there
know.
is that.
Maybe they're not that smart. Maybe they're dumb.
I mean, you're not sure. I mean, you spent a day with them. You have a basic idea of what they can do, but yeah, there's a lot of unanswered questions.
I'm thinking sleep over at David's house. What are you guys thinking?
Have at it.
Okay.
Sure, why not?
They'll probably just be thrilled that there are people there.
Right.
So yeah,
Being the girl in the group, I would head to my own home.
that's fair. That's entirely fair.
If we're heading home.
All
Yeah,
right.
your dad might look askance to that otherwise. But okay, so the rest of you, do you like stop at a payphone and like phone your folks to know that, hey, we're going to be sleeping over at a friend's house,
I'll just
Yeah.
show
or do
up.
you just call when you get there?
Well, I don't know. I was gonna say swing by my house on the way there, but I don't know.
Well, we can spitball it, say that
Yeah.
you're able to get your parents' approval, and David, your folks are surprised and happy that yeah, you've got friends that are willing to stay over. They do introductions and stuff, and they go about getting like spare blankets and pillows and all that. But yeah, so you've got friends doing a sleepover, which is kind of awesome. Or depending on how much you prefer to be alone, maybe not so awesome. But so I mean, we can just say that the night passes, unless you want to do something with your, like say that, this is what my place is like. Otherwise, we can like fast forward to the following day if you want.
Fast forward. Let's do it.
I'm
Sure.
okay with that.
Sure.
I want to know if
So
the mall burned down.
yeah. So Frankie, your dad was a little upset with you being out so late without phoning home, but overall, he's willing to
Well,
let this
E.T.
be.
couldn't phone home. I was in the middle of the woods
Yeah,
with some friends.
I'll say you're able to convince him that nothing bad happened. So next day, y'all wake up. You have breakfast and stuff. Your sister is still playing that damn slide whistle. Um, the rest of you, I'll say at least one of your folks has the news turned on, and the little jingle for the local news. And in breaking news today, there was a burglary reported at the Marquette Mall. No signs of how the culprits entered or exited, but two stores were burglarized. The Micro Age Computer Store and Red Balloon Toys. We're reaching out to the owners for comments, but so far they have declined to comment on the matter. More news as it develops. Now on to the weather. And then it goes on to like the standard forecast kind of stuff. So you know what the toys did last night?
I say under my breath, oops.
That could have been an independent robbery. We don't know for sure.
So I'll say dinner, breakfast, goes off without a hitch. Yeah, the kids of you, those of you who are together, you can decide what you're doing. I assume you picked a place to meet up if something happened, and something has happened.
I will ride over to David's house on my bike.
Okay, so you all meet up. His parents, tell you to have fun, enjoy the first day of summer break, and don't get into too much trouble. Um, so where do you head? Do you head back to the hideout? Do you head to the mall? And on the footage on the news, there were cop cars there. Some things were like taped off and stuff. But I mean, the mall should still be open for business.
Seems like we should investigate the mall briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you ride over there. Yeah, the two stores that were robbed, they have police tape across them. There's a few the cops that are there, like, investigating, detectives and stuff. So you can't really get into those. At least not without trying to sweet talk your way past the cops, which would take a lot. If there's, you could ask like other store owners or whatever if they know anything, I guess. But
Um, sure, yeah. I'll head to Music Street Video.
Okay. It's a video rental place, that I believe you know the owner.
Yeah, it's both music and video.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the owner is kind of a older, not quite burnt out hippie type, but he definitely has that kind of look. Hair's not terribly long, but it's longer than is the style of the time. He's wearing a Hawaiian shirt. His name's Paul Escala. And yeah, he recognizes you when you come in. He's like, "Oh, Frankie, hi. You're here awfully early, getting a start on summer vacation, huh?"
Uh, yeah, I see a couple of places got robbed overnight.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't hear about it till I got in because I don't really watch the news much. He says, but yeah, I came in and there's all these cops all over the place, and I'm just glad it wasn't my store. But
Yeah.
man, but yeah, no broken windows. Like, I mean, the security gates were still down. It's weird. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
the
were they high-tech burglars or something?
maybe I don't know. I mean, that or yeah, that maybe they overrode the systems or something, or maybe they found another way in that we didn't know about. I don't know. It's weird and kind of scary. He says, um, but yeah. It's I hope it's just like a one and done thing because I don't want to be next.
Right, yeah.
And he says, but yeah, we looking to get anything special or just here to chat? And he like waves his hands over a little thing on the counter that you've seen before. It's a theremin, and it gives like a kind of like a wee 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 noise. It's like he's trying to like fade into the present scene, as it were. Weird guy, but fun. Um,
Had the rest of you come with me?
I don't think we decided who was where.
Oh,
well, I mean, it would make sense if you're investigating together, unless you wanted to spread out for a bit. But up to you.
I don't want to go to the toy store, so anybody. Or I could take David to the toy store. Be like, look.
Yeah, the segment of the news you didn't see was like, yeah, in an interview with Mary, the owner says, yeah, I whoever it was must have had it out for me. They did terrible things to my bike.
Yeah. We can all just go together, Or I'll go.
Okay.
I mean, yes.
Okay. So yeah, and he says hi to the rest of you and stuff, and he's more than willing to chat. He seems like a friendly sort. If you were looking to the shop, he's that's great, but he's more than willing to share what little news he knows about it. Um,
um, I'll ask like if there's any new um Pat Benatar cassettes.
it's like
Uh,
I think she had one that came out a few months back.
oh,
He goes
oh,
to the
I've already
racks.
got that one.
Oh,
Um,
gotcha.
hey David,
Hmm?
do you think it could have been like a high-tech robbery? Like, could they have like overridden systems or something?
I think it's pretty obvious that the robots came in and freed their other friends. Am I off base on that one?
I don't know.
Voice in the sky says, "No, you're probably right."
Hmm. Yeah, I was kind of making
Oh,
small talk with the friends in front of
oh,
the
Sure.
business
oh,
owner too.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would do that with someone who's a little less awkward than me.
Oh.
This is who she has.
But
Yeah.
yeah, go on.
Nah, I did my part,
Okay.
guys.
But yeah, Paul says, yeah, it's from what I heard though, they didn't really make off with anything like, I mean, they hit the computer stores, right? So there's like all sorts of expensive and fancy stuff there. But I mean, I went by, on the way here, and I mean, most of the stuff on the shelves looked like it was still there. So I know they took
Hmm.
something, but like they
Oh,
left all
weird.
the pricey stuff, which and like a toy store. I mean, that's just strange, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, it's so random. That's why I'm worried that I might be next. So
yeah, understandable.
maybe you all should maybe buy something before it disappears off the shelves. He says with a kind of a goofy grin.
Have you ever donated anything to kids that are in trouble? Maybe some health impairments. I have this friend.
But yeah, otherwise he'll make more small talk, and unless you have like specific questions, we can convene to another scene or
It seems like we got out of him what we're gonna get out of him.
Yeah.
I don't know where else to go. Should we go to the plant again, or should we go back to the treehouse? Maybe they're back at the treehouse. What if we go to the treehouse?
Are you like kind of wandering the? Oh yeah, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
No, I was just saying, what if we go back to the treehouse and there's like 40 robots up in the treehouse?
Oh heavens!
I mean, only one way to find out.
I mean, we could go to the actual loop itself, but I don't know that that's going to be beneficial. Unless you guys want to break in.
I just don't know what we would like, what we're looking for.
So I'll say, are you wandering through the mall as you're discussing this?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So you pass by.
No.
What was that?
Oh, sorry, talking to the dog.
Oh. So yeah, I'll say you go past a window, and in one of the stores there's a TV that's like turned to the news, and it's got like the subtitling on, and in the big blocky black and white letters, it's it flashes to special bulletin, strange sights seen over over Marquette, and it cuts to like a news crew that's on the street, and they're interviewing people because whatever has happened has already happened, and they say, and one of them's like, yeah, it's the damnedest thing I ever saw. I mean, I'm used to the ships kind of coming and going along the routes that they've got, but these things were small and they were fast, and I don't know what they were. I've never seen anything like them. It's not like they were some sort of little remote control helicopter or something. My kid's got one of those, but yeah, it's just the damnedest thing. And the reporter takes the microphone back and says, yes, this morning strange objects were seen in the skies over downtown Marquette, and plenty of witnesses seem like they took note of them, which is usually when you hear about things like UFOs, it's some crackpot in the woods. But no, we've have a lot of witnesses who all say they've seen the same thing. What could it mean? More news as the story develops, and it kind of goes on to the next thing. So whatever's happening, it's happening quickly, it seems.
I'm just thinking where to go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm at.
Sure.
But yeah.
I mean, what do we have left? Those are the only two spots we really have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So treehouse or plant.
I guess I might try to go back to the plant, but
Yeah,
Same spot we were at before.
yeah, I guess so.
Oh, I would also hang on. Flashing back to the news report. I would one element that I forgot to mention. Strange sounds like screeching and buzzing were heard as these objects went by, that are completely baffling to most of the onlookers. So that would have been an element too. And I would say, in light of that, and in light of all the things you've heard, give me Sawyer, give me a comprehend roll, because you might have heard something like this in a different context.
What?
interesting. Okay. I get looks like I get 2 for that. There we go. 1 is a 6 though.
Okay. The screeching and the buzzing and all that, it didn't really dawn on you at first, but it really sounds a lot like that stupid slide whistle from the cereal box. Like it really reminds you of that noise the more you hear it. Just keep that in mind.
Your sister's controlling these things.
But just FYI.
Interesting. Okay.
Interesting.
So we have one vote for heading to the plant.
Well, now I vote we go to Sawyer's house and steal the slide whistle.
Honestly, that sounds like a
See
decent idea.
See if we can communicate with him or something. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Not to railroad this, but it's just like that is something you would have noticed in character probably. So yeah, you could, if you wanted to, you could all go to his house.
All right.
Okay.
Sure, why not?
Let's
Works.
do it.
All right. So onward. So you truck through town, out of town to the outskirts of Chocolate Township. And yeah, this is a more rural, more remote area, but it's pretty nice. A lot of trees, a lot of nature. And yeah, you get to Sawyer's house, and I say his father's certainly out working on the farm. His mother, greets you. She's like, "Oh well, didn't expect you all to be back so soon, and you brought some friends." And there's a few of your siblings kind of lounging around the house. It's like, well, make yourself at home. Any friend of Sawyer's is a friend of ours. We ain't too particular here. So you're looking for the sister with the slide whistle?
I believe that's true. Yes.
Okay. You find her, and it's what did I say her name was? Marigold? Yeah. So she's in her room. You can hear her having some sort of like little tea party with her dolls or something. Door's open, but do you just go in? Do you call out, tell her to come to you? What do you do?
In this house, we just kind of walk indoors, so I just walk in.
Sure. So yeah, you walk in, and she's like, "Oh, hey Sawyer," and she's back. Holds up her doll, and she's like, "Anna says hi too." And, holds it up and like wiggling the arms a little.
Hi, Anna.
So,
Marigold, you were playing with a whistle yesterday. Do you still have that around here? Where did you leave that?
she's like, "Yeah, I might have it. Why?"
I mean, no reason exactly. Do you think I could take that with me?
Oh, it's my whistle. What do you get your own?
Oh, come on, Marigold.
We're starting a band, and he's going to play the slide whistle.
This is
Me a-
true.
Ronald,
me a
just take
charm
the
roll.
whistle. Take the whistle, Ronald.
Charm roll.
Give me a charm roll. See if
Charm
you can-
roll. Okay.
see if the little 5-year-old is enamored by that.
Ooh, I got a 6. Oh, 2 6s.
Okay.
Yay.
She's like, yeah. She looks up and she's like, "Oh man, you're dressing real fancy." You didn't tell me you were forming a band, brother. She says, I guess I can let you borrow it for a little bit, but don't get slobber all over it, all right?
Why would you think that about me?
I mean,
He's
you're a
going
boy.
to
Boys are
he's going
gross.
to he's going to play it, not one of the cows.
She laughs at that. She's like, "All right, yeah, since your friend's so nice, yeah, I guess I can let you borrow it. Just make sure you bring it back." She says, and he goes over to like her, one of her little side dressers or whatever, takes it out, hands it to you, Frankie.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. She's like, you make sure he brings it back now.
Will do.
Yeah, nice meeting you, she says, and Anna waves too with a little doll hand. So then she goes back to the tea party. She's like, "Oh, weren't those folks nice? It's nice to have visitors." And they're just kind of going about their thing. Okay, you have a slide whistle. And so now you mentioned possibly treehouse, possibly the plants.
Before we leave the house, my dog Dozer comes up and greets us.
Okay,
And I
what sort of
say,
dog?
He is a golden retriever.
Okay, so he comes up, he gives a woof, and goes up and like pushes his face into your hand.
This is my dog Dozer. You might think that he's called that because he's big like a bulldozer, but it's mainly because he sleeps all day.
Ah.
And he gives a little woof to you guys, but like a friendly one.
He's a good boy.
Aw.
Of course he is.
Aw.
And Dozer comes along with us from this point on.
Awesome. Sure, yeah, he'll keep up with the bikes. He seems as if he's happy to get out for a run. So yeah, where are you heading? I would say like there's more news footage of like the robbery at the mall on the little black and white TV you guys have, and it's kind of interviews with the people. The sound's turned down, but you see like investigators pointing to like air vents and things like that, and kind of a shrug, and more interviews with the store owners and stuff. Um, but yeah, so I mean, it is still an ongoing story. It's still getting coverage. It still seems to be kind of like developing as time goes on.
What do you guys think? To the treehouse or to the plant?
I mean, we could try the treehouse quick, I think. Sure.
Yeah, that's on
Yeah,
the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the woods, so that makes sense. So yeah, you guys head there, and give me a investigate roll. Just like all of you, see if you notice anything.
I got 1-6.
Okay.
None.
None.
None for me.
Oh, so David notices that there is movement in the windows of the treehouse, and it is clearly identifiable as one of the machines, or several of them actually,
Let's go.
looking out, and yeah.
You want to go see what's going on up there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but let's put our snake costumes on first, just to see. All right.
Okay, so you head up all together, or
As,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So you get up, and the interior of the treehouse is like swarming with our friends, the machines. Multiple types of each except the leader. So you've got like you've got speedboat looking things, and the multiple slices for the pizza car. You've got a Jeep. You've got a whole bunch of different little things just sort of ambling around, and they're mostly like in a circle around the Infinitron. And he looks over. They all look over at you actually as you come up and say, "Ah, we were hoping you would arrive. We feel we should inform you that the threat is more dire than we thought. We needed reinforcements. We needed them quickly, and we need to move now. We wanted to let you know that the danger is well in hand. You can leave it to your friends, the machines." And all of them at the same time say, "Your friends, the machines." And it's a little creepy, actually.
Oh boy.
So now that you have been informed, we should see about stopping the Reticulon threat before it can get any worse. Take care, children.
What are you planning to do?
Well, to disable their machines, to stop their weapon before they can complete it. That is the best way to handle any threat of the Reticulons.
Can
Short
you
of
provide any specifics to those statements?
there is underneath your homes, underneath where you work or where you go to school and play, there is a gargantuan device that they have constructed. I do not know how close it is to completion, but we must stop it before they do. Overwatch has thankfully been very, very useful. All of them, and he gestures to like 3 of them that are floating, have been very helpful in identifying access points where we might enter unnoticed and stop them before they realize what we are up to.
Have you seen a reticulon yet?
We think they are underground, operating the machine, working to complete it. They would have no reason to come topside.
What evidence do you have of this happening?
Well, you see, and as he's saying that, a helicopter, little one, flies into the window, and there's this deafening screech from like it and all of them in the room, of like that modem sound of them all connecting to each other as it enters range, and it lands and joins the throng of the others. Once the racket has died down, Infinitron says, "We have been battling the Reticulons for a very long time. We know their tricks. We know their signs. We will keep you safe."
What do you need us to do?
No.
Also, well, actually, go on. That was a question. You just need to stay safe, stay out of the way. We will handle it from here. You would be in danger if you came with us.
Uh,
I'm sold. I could just go back home.
Actually, give
So is
me.
go
Go
ahead.
on, go on.
I was just gonna say, is this out of character? Is this
Mhm.
this is just a plot to like shut down our particle accelerator and plant by like some other country who's invested in this ridiculously deep state cartoon mixed with these toys that are able to do these things? Is that what we're
the
looking at here?
communists!
Out of character, yes.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't expect an
But
answer on that. Okay.
I mean, I figure,
Yeah.
yeah. But in character, yeah, you're not 100% sure if the aliens are real, if these toys are just insane. But you do know that, to the best of your knowledge, the loop employs a lot of people, including maybe like the parents of some kids, and that it is uh, a vital part of the local economy and local, just um, framework.
So the loop is just an analogy for the mines, is what I'm hearing here. Interesting.
Sure.
I
All right, so we got to shut these things down.
Would probably be a good idea. Otherwise, a lot of people are going to be out of work, or at worst, they could. It's a nuclear plant that powers this thing. They could cause something far worse.
I mean, talking with them hasn't worked so far, but what the heck? Since you said we all learned about this in school,
Mhm.
Frankie is going to say, so have you heard of a particle accelerator before? I ask this of the machines.
They turn to you, or Infinitron turns to you as he's like their spokesman. He says, "Why, yes, of course."
Because best I can tell, you're looking to attack the particle accelerator, not from far from town.
Okay, I feel that since they are all in one spot, you guys are all in one spot, and this seems like a very pivotal moment. I am going to say that this is going to be an extended trouble. Troubles are the difficulties you guys run into, and this is basically something that is going to take multiple successes if you're trying to convince them or otherwise stop them from leaving your treehouse and going and doing something that could cause irrevocable harm. Um, so you're trying to reason with them. Give me a roll first. I'm going to let each of you try to have some element of what you're looking to do to stop them. In this case, it will see how many successes you get when all is said and done. So, charm roll from you because you're trying to basically say that, hey, look, this is normal. It's not a threat. It's what it should be. So, give me a charm roll.
Ooh, I got a 6.
Okay, so
A
that's
single
one,
6.
a single 6. Okay. If you want, you can use a luck point to try and get more successes. It's up to you. But if you want to keep that, it is at least one success.
I'm keeping it.
Keeping it. Okay. So the rest of you, you realize that if these toys get out of here, it's probably going to be hard to wrangle them or get them to stop if they're looking to do something horrible to the loop. So what are you looking to do to try and keep them from doing that? Whoever wants to go next, go.
Where and when can I use this lead characteristic? Is that anything that could play
Oh,
in?
we can backpedal a little bit here. Yes, you can use that anytime that there's a situation where you would be planning for. So I will say, as you guys were like riding up to the treehouse, because you mentioned that it might have all of the machines there, I would say that during that you guys could try to formulate a plan, and if you're taking the lead, you could basically try to say, okay, if this happens, this is what we should do, and that would give bonuses to the other kids if they listen to you. So we're backtracking a little bit in time. So you can
Hmm.
use that on route basically. So you're talking as you're riding towards the treehouse. So what plan did you want everyone to try and follow if if you encounter the machines at the house, which you will?
It's a good question. I don't know if we can. Charming them has worked somewhat, but I worry with that many it's not going to work. I don't know. But I also don't know that forcing's going to work with that many to
You do
turn
know they
off
have a
their
leader
things.
that they seem to be listening to. There is
Yeah.
that.
Okay. And this is cheating a bit because we were in the treehouse, then we left the treehouse now for this.
Yeah, but it's okay. I'm willing to fudge
But
it.
did you say there was only one Infinitron in the treehouse?
Yes.
Yes. You
So
wouldn't
the
know
other
that.
one's still missing.
Yep. You wouldn't know that at this point, and the rest of you can chime in to like give ideas for the plan too, but ultimately Cody is the one who makes the leadership role to see how many dice he can store for that.
There anywhere we could send them that they would just malfunction for going there? Like, ooh, there's some whatever those creatures are. I don't know, in the middle of a fucking volcano or something. Like, or down at the bottom of Lake Superior, would the coldness, the water, or any of that shut them down?
The lake it's
It's a
been
distinct
said
possibility.
forgives up her dead.
I mean, they are heavy. They might not be, aside from the one that looks like a speedboat, they might not be waterproof. So that is a
That's
possibility.
the thought, but
Okay.
To try to convince them to go to the lake, you're saying?
like, yeah, like what are those things called?
The
Penitrons?
reticulons?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, like say that they're at the bottom of the frickin' lake. See if they
Okay.
go there. I don't know.
It's not a terrible idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
especially since the loop extends into the lake.
Yeah.
Oh, building off that, what if we try to convince them that there is a cold water intake in the lake that might be a good access point?
Hmm. That's
That could work. If they bought it, that could work.
okay.
They're like, how
All
would you
right.
kids know that? We know these things.
I mean, depending on how well you roll, and I will let you re-roll that charm, whoever decides to do it for that, if you wanted to.
What do you think, Sawyer?
Uh, I'm on board with this plan. Yes.
Okay.
So,
All right.
yep.
We're going to try to convince them to go look in the lake.
Go jump in the lake. Okay. So give me so Cody, since you're the one trying to organize the plan and get everyone on the same page, give me a lead roll. Tell me how many successes you get.
One.
Okay. You let me take a quick look at something on your character sheet real quick.
Is it that I have a cat named Cat? Yes, I do.
No. I would say if you wanted to, you could tap your pride to get an extra success here if you wanted to. Because one success on that gives you a dice pool of 2 dice. 2 successes would give you a dice pool of 4 dice to use towards enacting the plan. And you can divvy those up to any of the kids that are taking part in the plan that you wanted to. Your pride is, basically that you stood up to someone who was being bullied against very daunting odds, and you took some flack for it. No one even knows that you did it, but
Okay.
but you still did it, and you take pride in that. These, if they are a swarm of machines, are also kind of overwhelming odds. If you want to add that an extra success to that
Okay.
leadership role, you can.
We'll do it. 2.
Cool. So you guys have an extra 4 dice to use during the attempts to convince them to go jump in the lake. Okay, so fast forward back to you guys seeing them in the clubhouse, the treehouse, knowing that you're right. You enter, and they've told you what they're looking to do. And I will say, Frankie, you can re-roll if you want to, adding however many dice you want to your attempt to convince them to go jump in the lake.
What do you guys think? Should I re-roll? I did already get a success, but I mean, the lead pool is for other people to try as well.
True.
This is an ongoing trouble, so you could be getting successes to add.
Mm-hmm. And I will say you would need a fair number. There are a lot of them, and you're trying to basically change their what they think is the most logical course of action, and they are machines. So
Hmm. So we're all going to be charming them?
that, or if you have another idea that seems like it, like if you get to the last kid and the charm doesn't seem like it's worked, like they aren't really listening, you could try something else if another idea catches your mind.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be able to add the leadership dice to that because it's not part of the plan. But anyone who's looking to charm to convince them can add dice to that. You have a pool of 4 to pick from, and you can try different like approaches, like one saying, one focusing on like one aspect of the lake being a good choice, and the other saying that no, this other thing that you've had is too heavily guarded, or something like that. You
Okay.
can try different approaches.
How many did you roll, Jess, that you got?
I had 6 dice. I got 1 success.
Um, how are your guys' charms?
I got 4 I can roll.
Okay.
I got charm is mind, right?
Yes.
Or
Heart.
heart.
Oh, heart. I'm sorry.
Heart.
All right. So I got just 2, or do I get a third one because of whatever?
You can add dice from the pool of 4 that everyone can draw from. You can add 1. You could add 2. It's up to you.
Guess just
Well,
one, maybe. Or
I
should
guess
not?
let's I don't know. What do you think? Just keep yours and then we'll give Matt at least 2 of the dice.
Yeah, because computer nerd could take the nerdy scientific
Or 3 of the
aspects of
dice.
it.
Maybe we give him 3 of the dice. So
I
we have 4,
mean,
Justin?
yeah, you have 4 to work with.
I give Brett 1 and Matt 4 or 3.
That'll give me
Um,
5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. So whoever wants to go next, say what you're saying to the machines and give me a roll.
We know that the security at the base is stronger on the land than it is in the water.
Or
Yeah.
the reticulons are too haughty, and they wouldn't expect it. It's like the Death Star thing.
Yeah.
No one would expect someone to attack through there. Just throwing out
Right.
ideas for you.
Right.
I'll say something like my dad has mentioned that it's far less guarded in the water entrance. My dad works there. I don't really know where my dad works. That's in my character sheet, but I'm going to make it up right now.
Yeah, that works.
And I got 2 successes.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Cool. Off to a good start. All right. Who's next?
I can go.
Okay. Go ahead, Cody.
I'm going to tell them that I know there's easy access that's never watched over on the water side because my uncle Pike Mintz was once contacted about breaking into this area for a job to do, but he never got around to actually trying that job before he was pinned by the law. So I have some insider info.
Okay. So, all right, go ahead. Give me a roll.
And I have 3 successes
Ooh.
out of 5.
Ooh.
Nice. Infinitron turns to Overwatch and says, "Did you check the water?" And collectively, they all start saying, "Well, no, I was off in this area," that sort of thing. So, and so it seems like you are gradually swaying. You are swaying them, which brings us to, I think, the last one is Brett.
They all look to the speedboat, and the speedboat's like, nobody carried me to the water. Very sad.
Yeah, there's only one of him, so
I just appeal to them and say, please, you've got to try this. This is good. Probably, I think that's your best bet. This is the only way to save us. You got to get down in that water entrance.
do you like hold up Dozer and be like, "Look at this face," or anything while you're doing that? Or I mean, I can give you some extra dice if you work him in somehow.
So I'm looking at 7 dice here, right? That's for over.
Yeah, if you're using the rest of the pool and the 2 extra, yeah.
Okay, here we go. 1.
Okay. So, for a standard like climactic confrontation, the threat level is usually 2 times the number of kids. You're at 7 successes. You're almost there.
I have another idea.
Mhm.
since we borrowed Marigold's slide whistle
Mhm.
and Sawyer has brought on the emotions, I am going to play Listen to Your Heart on the slide whistle.
Okay. I will let you make a second attempt at an influencing them.
Okay.
But
Maybe empathize?
you do have to take a condition though,
Oh,
because
okay.
everyone got one shot to try and knock this out, and you got pretty far. But at this point, they seem like they're listening, and then they're like, "Well, no, they're just children. You know, what do they know?" That kind of thing. And it seems like they're not quite there. And I would say of the conditions, uh,
Upset?
upset or scared for you, I would say you're either like really you're starting to get scared that oh no they might actually like blow up the loop, or you might be upset that like look we're just trying to get this, why won't you listen to us? You could do either one, upset or scared.
I would say, upset because they're making assumptions, and that makes me angry.
Okay. So oh, good point. So you're playing into your trouble, your problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead and yeah, so it'll be at a -1 die simply because you are upset and that messes with your head.
Okay.
And you're so since
Is
you're
it another
angry,
charm or is it
it would be
empathize?
yeah. Uh, playing an instrument, that's a good question. I would say I would actually say empathize since you're trying to play on their emotions. You might be doing it a bit angrily, but you are trying to play on their emotions.
Okay. So I've got 4 dice for this, with the -1.
Okay. Do you have any luck points left? You can spend
I
one to
do.
reroll. Okay.
I do. Okay. Yeah, I got a couple of 5s, but 5 does not cut it.
Gotcha. No, no dice.
No.
Oh, I will say you start playing. You're like "Rrr," so you just say it out and you just start like on it. And as you're doing that, you're trying to follow the tune of the song, and it's not quite on because you're upset. But you do get a reaction from them. They sort of stutter a little bit, and some of them look like there's jittery a little. And but they like all look over at you, and they're like, please stop. If anyone else wants to grab the slide whistle and just like blow the heck out of it, you can. You've already made your choice. You could do another one and add like scared because they all turned to you at once and they sounded threatening.
Does
Uh,
anyone else want a shot with the slide whistle?
if someone like wants to grab it away,
What
Oh,
is
sure.
the
What the
type of
heck?
roll you do?
I'll just start playing it.
it would be. She was trying to appeal to like their empathy. So if she was doing empathize, if you're
I will just make random, weird, awful noises.
I would say give me either a tinker roll because you're messing with like a little simple machine, or give me a calculate to figure out like just like okay to make as much noise on this thing as possible. This is what I do. One of those rolls. Tell me what you get.
I'll do the 8 for calculate.
Okay.
And I got 2 successes.
All right. So you saw them react a bit, and you realize, oh, maybe this is it clicks for you. It's like this was the modem noise they were making, kind of. Maybe it's interfering with their communication somehow. So you're like, give me that. So you grab it and you just start like, making as much racket as you possibly can on this thing, and I would say all of the charming you guys tried to do had them off guard enough that they are kind of caught unawares even after that first blast of sound. And you see them, kind of some of them start like jittering and falling over. Others they look like they're trying to move towards you, but they're like halting. Do you just kind of keep going?
Yeah.
All right. Yes.
Maybe I'll take it away from my our signal somehow to like start turning these fuckers off. We
Yeah.
can just keep playing.
We would
Yeah.
spring into
And
action, start turning them off.
yeah, the others of you, you can actually like run, grab them, hit the switches and stuff. So between you're just like making the most god awful racket, and the machines themselves are like screeching, and it's this horrible discordant electronic warbling in response. And the entire treehouse is full of them. They're flailing and flashing around. I'm not even going to make you guys roll because they're more or less defenseless. So yeah, you wade in and you start like grabbing them and ripping off the battery packs and flicking switches, grabbing, flicking, and in the midst of all this noise, it gradually dies down and dies down until there's this final electronic wail of perhaps dismay. And I will say you can choose which one of you grabs the last one, holds it up, and just flicks it off while staring it in the face. So you seem, and at that point, the treehouse has gone silent. You have a mass of heavy metallic junk laying around you. They didn't like fall apart, but they seem inoperative at the moment.
Let's chuck them in the lake. They sink to the bottom.
I would say let's take all their batteries and never use this treehouse again. Because at some point, someone's going to find it and realize that all of the stolen merchandise is here, and we don't want any part of that, right?
I'm fine with that, but I still think we can chuck them all in. I think if we chuck them all into the lake, no one will know that we did it.
If we took the batteries and put the rest of them in plastic shopping bags, then hung them on the handle of a certain motorcycle, I know.
Motorcycle just tips over from the weight,
framing her from her own store's theft.
Look, are these normal batteries?
They actually on further inspection, they don't quite look like it. They look different. Like you're not 100% sure what they're made of, but yeah, it's not like the copper tops. It's not it doesn't look like ones you're used to. They look bigger, and like they're you get the impression that they are a significant part of the weight of these things. So they're very heavy duty.
What's this brand? IKEA?
It's let's see what it said on the little AI images I generated. This is apparently manufactured by Fun Times, fun with two N's rather.
Absolutely.
A company that you've never heard of.
I don't know. I think
one of the ends might be backwards. No.
I feel like tossing the batteries into the lake might be a really bad ecological idea.
We could just burn the treehouse.
Now, what's that?
We could burn the treehouse down with all the stuff inside.
Yeah, but it's metal. Unless it's like the big giant bonfire will get people to come there before everything melts.
Mm-hmm.
I would say
exactly.
David, you do have you do have a decent relationship with the school computer teacher.
Oh yes, I do.
Could always take them to him and see what he thinks.
The batteries or the robots?
Up to you. But
I don't want to turn these things back on, so
maybe throw them into the nuclear reactor somehow.
Maybe just the batteries. Maybe just it's up to you. I mean,
okay. I mean, I guess I could but school's out, so I don't know if I'd know where he was.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, and I doubt you would have his phone number. Fair point. I was just looking through your guys' connections and anchors and stuff, seeing if there was anything.
Yeah, who the heck knows what teachers do during summer vacation?
Right, they live at the school, don't they?
Maybe they just cease to exist.
I could talk to my father, who runs the auto body shop in town. Maybe some of his torches would burn through these things and chop them into pieces.
Okay.
Or I could break in when he's not there, and I could try to do it.
Up to you.
I've got an idea. We keep the batteries, but in the dead of night, bring all of the toys back to the mall and leave them in the back.
Without the batteries.
Without the batteries.
And what would you do with the batteries then?
I
Like
don't know.
take them to Ronald's dad, see if he might have any idea, or take them to the cops, take them to.
Maybe you could just set him outside the cop station.
Hmm.
I don't know. It seems like potentially getting the batteries back inside the robots ever would be a bad thing. So,
Yeah,
like, I don't know. Maybe we can just hang
You
on
could
to them,
always.
and David can find some great new use for them.
we're gonna have to bury him.
Mine shaft.
Mine shaft.
Oh, there you go.
We throw it down, and then we hear some sort of slithering snake noises in the darkness. No!
Uh,
Slithers in the deep.
so so first order of business, are you looking to pry out the batteries?
Oh, we don't have the bat. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to get them loose. I'm not even going to make you roll. I'd say maybe you get like a slight shock from one of them, trying to get them out. But you do manage to, bit by bit, you start prying them out of the machines. Um, Give me, as you're doing it, and you can see behind the battery packs. Give me one more investigate roll. Everyone who's undertaking this.
Investigate. And I'm at -1.
If you're still upset, yes.
Am I still upset?
You're happy.
You haven't done like anything to necessarily calm yourself down, or you spending time with your anchor or with your family or whatever. So I'd say you're still upset.
Okay, yeah. Okay. No investigative successes for me.
I had one.
Okay. One.
Yay.
Okay. Anyone
None for
else?
me.
None?
Done.
Okay, so since you David, since you kind of recognize the other language as being maybe Nordic or something, you as you're like going through and tearing out batteries and stuff, you notice like on some of the circuitry you can see behind the batteries, these aren't quite the same sorts of letters. They look uh Russian, maybe.
Ah. Hmm.
So like you see backwards N's and like K's that have like the triangular or the diagonal bits on both sides. Like you've played Tetris. This looks vaguely like what you see in Tetris.
Okay.
So
Um.
just FYI.
Guys, we're still at war with Russia, right?
I mean, a Cold War era. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, this kind of looks like Russian writing to me.
I
So yeah,
told you they were pinko machines.
Okay.
yeah, the outer
Okay.
stuff was in Swedish or Finnish or whatever. But yeah, it wasn't until you actually got into the guts of them that you saw the truth.
Maybe
Communists are subcontracting. I should have known.
maybe we should give these to my dad. He works on base.
Hmm.
Have fun explaining that whole thing.
Uh,
Hey, Dad,
But yeah,
here's 2 dozen toys.
could say that we found them in the woods, dumped by the robbers.
Not entirely false.
Yeah.
So is that the working plan then?
I guess
Or
so.
as
Sounds
long
good
as
to
they
me.
don't try to put them back together.
okay.
Well, if the military puts it back together, it's the military's problem.
Okay. So since this has run longer than I expected, I will kind of streamline the credit sequence here, like the end of the story. So you
Not just
do.
fading to black like a 50s movie.
Nope. They tampered in God's domain. No. So you take them back to your dad, and it takes some explaining for why you have so many of them and what's going on. But when you mention that there's Cyrillic writing inside, Russian writing and such, he seems to be more willing to hear you out. So you show him, and you demonstrate that it's on like all of these, and he sits you down. He makes you go through your story like in its entirety. and not leaving anything out, asking like exactly what the machine said, what they were trying to do. And when he has it all from you, he would ask to have your friends, come in, tell him as well. But he goes off and he makes a series of phone calls, kind of like off in the other room so you don't hear. And the rest of you do get called in, depending on how cooperative you are. He might be a bit more hardline with you. He might be a bit more easygoing, but I'm assuming you all tell more or less the truth of what happened.
I would.
And then I saw him pee on this lady's motorcycle.
They have a hatch, a pee hatch. So yeah, you basically, you all kind of corroborate each other's story. So he wanted to believe his daughter, but at the same time, it's like, well, this is very far fetched. But you seem to all together, your story seems to get through to him, and so some time goes by, and in your hanging out throughout the summer, you notice that the stores aren't carrying these toys anymore. The show has mysteriously gone off the air. And it kind of sucked anyway, is the general consensus to anyone you ask about it. So it's no real big loss. The toys were kind of neat looking, but most kids never got their hands on them because they were so expensive. But yeah, by the end of the summer, it seems like it's kind of faded into just faded into people's memories. If they talk about it at all, it's about how much the show sucked. Though you realize you never did find that other Infinitron. Now it fades to black. But you did manage to prevent them from possibly destroying the loop, and dealing a blow to the communist dogs that were the targets of these toys. They were lying to you about about fighting communists. So you didn't get that part, but in general, yeah, it was a comedy plot to try and have small things infiltrate important structures, important facilities, and basically wreak havoc on American infrastructure. And they were able to buy the rights to the toys for cheap because there was a crappy little show that no one cared about.
Oh, so the show did exist prior to.
Oh yeah, it was its own thing. The show actually was Swedish.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, they basically, since the Cold War had gone cold, certain countries were more willing to work with the Russians than others. So a marketing deal for cheap might have been in the cards. So yeah, you successfully thwarted a plan to, if not blow up, at least cripple a good chunk of American research and economy. But the thing is, no one, if anyone knows you were responsible, that you were to thank for this, well, at this point, it's probably top secret. But that's the life of a kid. You do what you can, and you often don't get thanked for it. But so that, yes, a bit longer than I expected. But that was a glimpse of Tales from the Loop. What did you guys think?
Applause.
Thanks.
I liked the scenario. That was good. I liked the setting.
Okay.
Yeah, another good job. I really like the story. I find I struggle with coming up with things on the fly sometimes, but
yeah, I've never been good at playing tabletop RPGs because of that. But yeah, it certainly helps with characters that I think basically are easily identifiable. Like,
sure. And this is a much more collaborative setting than
it is
than a lot of other things out there. But I wanted to try something different, and is this something that you think you'd recommend to people? That you think, hey, this could be fun with other settings, other mysteries?
I would play it again.
I like the setup. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I appreciate all the time you put into the setup in this one again.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Two, just like I said, I mentioned in the last episode, I liked the way the dice system in this game really gave you a chance, but you could mitigate the chance. I like that.
Cool. Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah. And I did kind of drum this all up with the idea that there could be other ways you could approach it. Part of me was hoping that collectively you might have build some sort of like super boombox to amplify the sound of the slide whistle, or you might steal or borrow the theremin from the video store to also try to like mess with the frequencies. So there were a lot of different potential approaches, and reasoning with them worked better than I expected until you just couldn't quite get them over that line. But yeah, I had fun too. This is something I think I'd be up for revisiting at some point. And yeah, getting into the feel of like the 80s where there's no easy communication across long distances aside from payphones and stuff. It's kind of neat because it makes you think outside of the box and plan accordingly.
Right.
But yeah, so on that note, I think I've kept us all here quite long enough. Thanks for bearing with me for the entire thing. I'm glad that people had fun. And I guess for the final question, like our new traditional ending. Well, since it's your first time here, Jessica.
Yeah.
Let's say you uncovered a nefarious plot about, say, Russians trying to, I don't know, infiltrate libraries or something like that. But no one believed you. They thought it was silly or overblown. How would you react?
I'm not sure I'd believe it myself. There's so many conspiracies regarding libraries these days.
Ooh, fair. Okay, but what if actually
Sorry.
I don't even have a follow-up for that because that's kind of sad. All right.
Support your local libraries. Read. Get a library card.
Yep, it's not just for commies. All right. Well, with that, thanks for joining us, everyone. Hope you listeners had fun as well, and we'll see you next time for whatever we do next on the Foncast.
Thanks
Sounds
for having
good.
me.
Bye, guys.
Hey.
Bye.
Hey, fondlings and fondlers. This has been another episode of Friends Occasionally Not Disagreeing, your favorite podcast. It's most people's favorite podcasts, or at least so my mom tells me. You can check us out all over the place online at our homepage, www.fondpod.com or fondpodcast.com. You can also check us out across your social media sites, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, YouTube, and anywhere else you get your streamed podcast. Thanks so much.